All right, guys, the scene will be set. You guys do the traditional D&D opening. Well, it's every RPG opening of you riding in a wagon. You, unlike most RPGs, know exactly why you're there. You've been sent off to war. Um, you have been requisitioned by the Academy, and I believe we gave you guys a name, and it is the Sinma Academy of the Arcane. You are representatives who are going to war on behalf of the country that your school is located at, and you know the reason you guys are there is because the academy is built on this amazing crystal cavern. Great arcane reasons. But anyway, in order to maintain your position and your ability to do research in that spot, you got to do a little favor to the war chief, and he's called on the school, and the school chose you. So here you are, in the back of a rickety wagon, making its way to a war camp. The ride is very uncomfortable. The roads in this nation are not notorious for their smoothness. In fact, the nation is Drazdul Ord, and if you were to translate that from Orcish, it would roughly mean the land of wheat and blood. The people of this nation are not known for their kindness. They would rather solve their problems with fists and then to the winner get the spoils. The school is there for necessity, not for a choice. Okay. So as the wagon rolls up to the camp, you have the coordinates you were given them, and you can almost smell this place before you get to it. The nice-sized horde of barbarians and warriors and burly, muscular folk. They've set up camp on the border of the Apatry of Netmizia. The king of this land has died, and the prince is very young and naive. And the war chief thinks it's a great time to strike and steal the land as much as they can get for their own. But you make it here to the war camp. Your buggy that was supplied by the college is told to drop you off and then to come back before it's taken by the group. And that's basically what they're going to do, unless you guys tell them otherwise. They're going to drop you off on the edge of the camp and let you make your way in. Anybody have any? Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds fine to me.
Task. Yeah. Do we have like accommodations for a ride later?
No. You know that there's a mobile field office in this area, and that might be a good spot to start. But as to transportation, they don't have much to give you.
Okay.
But first order of business is probably to check in with the person in charge. There's an assistant war chief that goes by the name of... My generator decided to quit right now.
I know you're just making noises, but I would be okay with his name being do.
Yeah. Fine, be it.
Okay, yeah. No, I wasn't bluffing when I said that.
The leader of the army of oh shoot, I forgot the name. Gulda Org? That was it. It was something like that. Orcish name. Is do. And you kind of have the idea that in the middle of this camp, there's a big tent of some sort, and you're probably going to have to go there to find them. But, once again, the buggy that you have been riding in stops well on the outskirts of this war camp, and will drop you off with your gear.
Okay. I think... Simov steps off the wagon. It probably goes up a little bit because of his like 300 pounds of weight
You're
just now
considered
off.
theft.
Yeah, he's like your job was adequate, and grabs his stuff and starts heading towards the mobile operating base.
Mm-hmm.
We would follow and kind of sniff at the air.
Oh yes, unpleasant.
Very unpleasant. She kind of like wrinkles her nose and kind of waves off at the driver. Go on, tap tap, and she'll follow after Dr. Simov.
Yes, let's be on our way. As you said.
Then
The
think,
driver, who's this young little thing, is just looking at you and being like, "Okay," and turns the horses and takes the buggy without questioning it. Just gone.
that's a bummer because I didn't get off.
Oh shit! And we're down one player.
I think we are missing someone.
You hear the screech of wagon wheels as they grind to a halt.
Slow down, I'm getting there. And she's she kind of meanders her way to the end, like one hoof off the thing, other hoof off the thing, and then she kind of uses her staff as an unnecessary walking stick to get over to everybody.
So what did you guys bring with you on this trip? You know you're going to war. You know you're going to be out for a while. Did you have like a trunk of stuff? Do you have a backpack or?
Yeah, I think that maybe like a trunk of things would be good. Rations for those that actually need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Local currency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Potions or vials or like empty things that like the magic users might need.
So are you going to bring like a small university with you? Like anything you could imagine you could need. Those are vials. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I imagine that the job of being the pack mule kind of has fallen on Simov because of his strength, so he just kind of has it packed up on his back, even though out of the stuff he has a small bag with some tools and stuff to kind of fix himself up.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically all that is his other than his weapons.
Vorthos definitely brings a abridged encyclopedia with like the tiniest writing you've ever seen, and then a magnifying glass so he can actually read it.
Kitty automatically has her sending stone, and she's checking to make sure that she hasn't missed any calls.
Mm-hmm. You haven't missed any calls as of yet. The sending stone has been slightly modified, where your contact is going to be this war party leader. Da 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 da.
Okay, sounds good. She also brings with her a scroll of pedigree, a collection of sales brochures for the academy, business cards, and a small little metal bell.
Okay. I love it. All right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh,
Go
okay.
on. You're fine.
It's fine. I didn't really have anything to add, honestly. I didn't want to be the only one to say anything, but I don't really. But, got bits and bobs for various spells. When I had the Whisper Jar, obviously, because she's the loremonger of the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have my coin, I guess, because of the decisions. I have my, I think at this point, I have my coin for decision making if it comes down to it, and then I have a horn, which I don't know if I can actually use, considering I can't breathe and don't have air, can't blow out air. So.
I could imagine that the university would fashion a sort of bellows that would attach to this horn for you. Or maybe like a bike horn where you squeeze it.
Yeah, it's undignified, but I have to use it. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. I also forgot to mention that you guys have been traveling for a while, and it's incredibly uncomfortable. So everybody except for the good Dr. Asimov, take 1 point of exhaustion.
No.
Just to start off with on a great note.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to mark that on that.
Oh, so on roll 20, under conditions, at the very bottom of that, you'll have the exhaustion meter, and just click the little plus, and it'll go up to 1.
I guess I'm not familiar with that.
So if you so next to like underneath your hit points, there should be a thing called conditions.
Oh,
Just
okay.
click on that, and then it will pull up the stuff, and you can go down.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know what?
Okay.
Asimov, you get the exhaustion too. I just thought about it. Your gears probably are not very happy for being cramped in a
Yeah,
little box.
they are.
That'd be
they are-
rude.
Yeah, they're getting a little gunked up. You know,
Hmm.
have to take care of them a little bit.
Asmov, we should probably find a place to go lay down. I feel exhausted.
I don't think we have time for that, Kitty.
What? After that long drive? I want a nap.
As much as I'd like to grease my joints, I think that we have to continue on.
I'd like to grease my joints too, and she kind of unhunches her back and like kind of pops her back out.
You are much taller than I thought you were.
I mean, do you think I just grow sideways?
I'm.
Honestly, I don't have much experience with the Minotaur, so I don't know.
I like it. Is that her in-character laugh?
Oh yeah, that and the variations of it. I can't imagine I'll be able to do that consistently. But
And who names their child? What was the name again? The general that we're meeting with?
Dun da da.
Right. Da. Oh, that poor soul. Well, I say let's go meet them.
All right.
Yes, let's.
So being on the outskirts of this camp, you march inwards, and you're seeing the traditional circular leather huts that are put up. You see fires put up all over the place. There's a collection of burning meats and people just getting ready for war. You see people putting face paint on. Everywhere you go, there are stairs, because you're not the type of troop that they are used to seeing in a camp like this. You're not burly, you're not dirty, you don't have an axe the size of yourself. You know, the traditional warrior symbols. But maybe 1 out of every 50 people will be like, oh, the bookworms are here. And they know where you're from. You make your way to the center of the camp, and there's an opening, a clearing in front of the largest of these tents that you can find. And the flaps to the tent are open. You can see a bunch of people milling inside, and they seem to be the leaders of this group.
Why don't you go in, Kitty? You're always good at making a scene.
Excuse me. I do not like that, but I have better etiquettes than you, so it is better for me to go anyway. And
You are more of a people person than the rest of us, or a people kitty.
thank you, Professor Vothy.
Close enough.
Okay. And so yeah, Kitty will walk on in. She'll kind of adjust her skirt a little bit, smooth her shirt a little bit, and push her shoulders back.
Lick her paw. No.
Her tail kind of twitches in annoyance at Dr. Simov's statement, but she brushes it off noble, and continues forward.
Okay. And just describe what your character looks like for me, so I know what you're looking like. To set the scene for you, you're walking into a rough, put-together tent. You're walking past 2 guards that are barely dressed in more than a loincloth and a spear. One's an orc and the other one's a dwarf, and they're just completely opposite of what I'm imagining your character is.
yeah. So it's very close to the picture that I sent.
Mhm.
But so Kitty has white hair with the tips that are black. She is snow leopard. and she is wearing a very pretty red dress. Yeah, and she has, I imagine, like boots. Yeah.
With the
'cause-
fur.
With the fur, yeah.
And everybody
yeah.
was looking at her.
Oh shoot, I should have done this, but I'll do it a little bit later.
Mhm.
And hold on, I sent a picture, but essentially she dresses like a noble. She dresses very stylish, very pretty, and she doesn't like getting dirt on her.
Okay. So you make your way past these two quote-unquote guards. They're not guarding anything. They're just kind of there at the moment. They let you past. Did I lose
I
someone?
think we lost. Oh, yeah, we lost Lori for a second. But
Oh no, she's
Yeah,
back.
I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing.
Welcome back. These guards let you through. On the inside, you hear a bunch of people arguing about something, and as you approach, you hear them arguing clearly because they're not quiet about it. And you hear one gruff voice say something along the lines of, "I don't care what it is. I want it taken apart. Those pieces are metal, and those metals can be arrowheads by the morning." And behind that gruff voice, you hear a more timid voice be like, "But the cultural significance of this dwelling is far beyond what this war. I don't care!" And you're walking in on this heated argument about something.
Oh dear. Alright, so I forgot to mention that Kitty has her crossbow across her back, and she does carry a rapier at her side. And then the sending stone is always on her person somewhere.
Good. It would be
so-
incredibly foolish to be unarmed in this place.
Yes. So walking in, she will kind of stand there for a moment and then clear her throat, and she'll say, "Excuse me, I am here from the academy." And what is our academy name again?
The Academy's name, and I put it in the Red Team notebook, is the Cinema Academy of the Arcane. Yeah, the good old SSA. Or SAA.
All right. Yes. So I'll say, I'm from the Academy, Sinmia Academy of the Arcane, and I am the representative, and I'm here to help.
And you interrupting this brute of a man. He has red skin and teeth that curl up. This full orc. I'm bypassing half orc. We're not even doing that. It's all the way or nothing with this guy. And General Dentadada turns to you, turns to where he thinks you would be, and then has to look down. And thinks for a second as his one gear is turning. Like, turns back to the person he's arguing with, this elf, says, "You brought more people in to try to sway me? I told you, melt it down or turn it into a weapon. And you, why are you here?" And he's pointing to Kitty.
So, her like eyebrow twitches as like she recognizes the elf getting yelled, or doesn't appreciate the elf getting yelled at. And she'll look up, very determined, and she'll say, "I'm looking for a General
This is I.
So yes, my colleagues and I have arrived from the Academy, and we are here. At that, oh shoot, I should have actually set up my unseen servant. Can I retroactively have casted my unseen servant?
Yeah, if it's a thing Kitty would have done, yes.
Yeah, and so she'll say, "David, can you please go get the others?" And that would be, yeah, the little servants unseen. It would go and maybe tap on somebody to follow them, or I'm not quite unseen servant works.
Maybe ring a
but-
bell.
Yes, yes. And she'll look over to the elf, and she'll be curious as to like what he's talking about. Can I see what they're arguing about? The physical item?
The physical. Give me a perception check with disadvantage, thanks to your exhaustion.
Oh. Okay. Wait, okay. Why is it not rolling? I clicked on it.
Maybe it's out of batteries. Oh God.
Oh weird. Okay.
No, that's a
yeah.
persuasion, not a perception.
Sorry.
Those are great rolls, but not what I'm looking for. And one more just to give it. Yep. Okay. You don't see anything in their hands. The elf is carrying scrolls and papers. It looks like from the edge of it you see a map, but you can't determine exactly what they're talking about. But what you do notice is now that the attention is drawn away from the elf, he's kind of shimmying his way out of this tent.
Okay. Okay. And can you remind Lori, the player, we are out here because we are assisting in the war in any shape, way, or form?
Any shape, way, or form. You are putting up a good face for the Academy. If you help win the war, then they will give you more resources for the Academy. Possibly a sister school out here in Mizia.
Okay. Okay. And to find out more information about our opponents, it would come from General Dudu.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Simovs just starts blasting. No, I'm just kidding.
Sneak attack. Sneak attack.
Yeah.
Over there, sneak attack. Attacking your own people, they'd never see it coming.
Yeah.
There we go. And I had that unseen servant has all the information on there. Okay. So photo section. I think
So I would assume by now that we have gotten the summons and joined you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, I would have it go get you guys. Maybe if it had a little bell itself and just like dinged at you guys. I don't
Now,
know. 'Cause
I am not opposed to the idea of your unseen servant, when you want it to, being summoned in with a collar with a little bell on it. I think that is hilarious for a cat to do that to something.
And so they could hear the little coming towards them and then going back towards where Kitty is.
Yep.
And then yeah, so you would look at General Dudu and say, "I'm here to assist in the war. I'm not here to sway you in. Sorry, I lost my accent. I'm not here to sway you in whatever matters you are having with that gentleman, but we are here from the Academy and we are here to help."
Yes, what's the plan? How can we assist at bashing our way through this poor little country?
Oh, yeah, you're speaking his language. Okay. Right to business. I like it. Come with me. And he scooches himself past this entryway and towards a table that has a map roughly spread out on it. There are daggers sticking into the corners to make sure it doesn't roll up. And he points to the map and says, "Here is where we are right now." And if you're looking at roll 20, he points to here. I guess the big things that are pressing is we have an orc camp to the left, to the never eats on it. It's to the west. I don't want you going that way. I'm gonna let the boys get out there and bash them in, get their spirits up. I think giving them something to hunt would be good. I think what I want you folks doing is going north, talking to the farm. I'd like to get that place without bloodshed. He lowers his voice because he doesn't want anybody else to hear the no bloodshed part. I don't want my boys doing the farming there. And if you can get the farmers to work for us, that'd be good. That being said, if you guys want to join us on a hunt, you're more than willing. We'll have you.
Well, I do think our expertise is best served as what you said.
I don't know what your expertise is. I know that some mighty good people who make fire come out of that college. And I'm hoping you guys are some of them.
The best fire.
I'm more of just a bludgeoning person myself.
Or a basher. I work with a basher.
Asimov takes out his warhammer and just drops it onto the table.
The table sags to the weight of the newly introduced hammer. Alright, I can respect.
I pick it back up, realizing that I probably shouldn't destroy the map.
Always throwing your hammer around, I see.
Do you guys bring a tent? You have accommodations?
I can handle that. I think we'll be okay. As long as everyone has something like a sleeping bag or what have you.
Yes, I made sure to bring sleeping accommodations for myself. So she'll turn to the small little group and kind of furrow her brows. Now, I know that you like to bash things, Simov, but do you think it would be better to get the farmhands to actually cooperate with us instead of facing bloodshed?
Well, an army does march on its stomach. It would be good to shore up our supplies before going into battle.
And how about you, Madame, and Dr. Bothy?
Yes, that sounds good for me. After a long cart ride, I could use a more light activity, I think.
And I am of the opinion that historically, the army with the stronger logistical advantage is usually the winner.
Yes, yes. Now, I do have one request. Now, if we do get the farmers to come and join you, General Doo-Doo,
That will not get old.
It's such a fun
would it be
name, by the way.
possible-
You must have such fun parents.
I killed my parents in hand-to-hand combat.
Well, with a name like that, I don't blame you.
Oh, so I was saying, if we bring the farmers over to the side and it does help you win. Now, would it be possible to put the name of the academy out there, specifically Kitty Rosewood?
Are you saying you want the farmers to join your school? He's squinting.
Not the school per se, but they could definitely add to the school. They could, donations. We're always looking for funds or different ways to support. It doesn't mean they have to join the school.
Usually,
I'm sorry, go on. You can go on, Phil.
usually you are satisfied with a plaque with your name on it or something of the like. Isn't that correct?
Yes. Something in stone that shows that we actually contributed, especially me, Kitty Rosewood.
Yeah, just slap a big old logo right on the side of the barn.
Actually, I love your idea, Madame. That would be,
I'm sure you do.
He sits at the chair. This is more of a stool that's by this map, and he says, "If you talk a couple of farmers to saving their own lives and not dying at the hands of these guys, that's good. That's not winning the war. If you want to slap your name on that barn, go right ahead. I don't care what you do out there as long as you get results. But that being said, if we come out on top, I will sing your praises to the war chief personally."
Sorry, I'll be right back. I'll still be able to hear what's going on. But I have to step away from my mic.
Okay, maybe. Yes, and This suffices as long as you keep your promise and spread the good word.
Now, about actually getting the task done, I know that preserving their lives is a motivator, but again, historically, that has also caused people to rebel and take guerrilla warfare tactics against us. Is there possibly some other manner of motivation that we could give them? Something to improve their lives if they help us?
You speak fancy like, but I get your gist. If you have to kill half of them, do it.
That wasn't what I was getting at. I was getting at something to benefit them so that they would actively want to be with us.
Perhaps, maybe this is a very good point, Dr. Vathi. Like, what are you thinking?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about the entirety of the political landscape that you have authority over, but yeah, perhaps something like a reduction in their taxes or thereabouts.
Taxes. He looks over to another person that's holding this burly human who's holding like a chest of stuff, like tax. Well, I'm not gonna worry about the numbers part of this. That's not who I am. I think the best motivator we can give for these folks, and he's trying to copy your eloquentness, is we can offer them protection. I'll keep the boys from ripping their people apart and eating them rather than their food.
All right, I suppose that will have to suffice. Thank you.
Unless you find something that's your own prerogative.
We can always come. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just making a side comment as to I love his character and his accent. Good job.
So I was just like, we can always come up with some flowery language to encourage them on the way there.
Yes. Go on.
I was going to say, I think what you're referring to, Dr. Simov, is wordsmithing. I don't think you're very good at it yourself, but we'll see what we can do.
No, I love this.
Only when I activate the persuasion module. Which, by the way, that was a thing we had decided afterward you got off. I have what's the proficiency in persuasion, and we decided that I have one different voice from my normal voice.
I like
used
it.
for persuasion.
I love the idea of modules that you can slot into your head and be like, "This is who I am today."
Yeah. So either I am very monotone, or I'm, "Hey there, baby. Can I help? Is there any way I could get some help with
Yeah,
this?"
and except for the embarrassing times that you mix up your persuasion and intimidation modules, and you're like, "Hey there, baby."
I don't have an intimidation
Yeah.
module. That's just me.
Yet.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I was just
Yeah.
for the sake of the joke.
Looking at the map, also, each hex is roughly 2 days across it by carriage. So if you have a horse or something, that'll help you traverse the area. If you're walking, it'll take double the time.
Okay, so, General, do you happen to have any spare horses or carriages or some mode of transportation? Maybe one of your boys, even.
The general looks to the person who's carrying the chest of documents and stands up from their stool, marches over to them, and starts rummaging around. No. Looks like our horses and transports are in short supply. If you could find one on your own, maybe at this farm, that'd be great. Give me another perception check with disadvantage because of your exhaustion. In fact, everybody, yeah.
So 18 for Kitty.
Holy
Oh, a 3.
smokes.
Oh, okay. Now I figured out how to do advantage versus advantage.
The little button.
Oh, yeah, so I forgot to
Yeah,
do disadvantage.
yeah,
So I'll have to
no.
do it manually.
That's fine. Just
Yeah.
roll 2 and take the lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether it would
Oh, okay. Well,
do that automatically thanks to the exhaustion condition.
yeah, I just forgot to like right click on it.
All right. The those who scored above a 10 hear the very audible from the elf that is on the outskirts of the area. And if you look over, they're mouthing the words,
Oops.
"I have an idea. See me after."
Okay. So, with that, Kitty will stick out her hand.
Oh,
expecting
And
to
Doo-Doo-Doo's
pull-
still going on about maybe you can get yourself a horse or maybe a cow. I've heard people riding cows into battle. That's always been a good thing. But the bells give you away, so don't try to sneak up on anyone. I suppose you could do the cows and then do a plow behind it, and then you'll be the plow people going into war.
well,
Yeah.
Yes, I'd rather not ride a cow. That feels a touch awkward.
well, General, thank you for your time, and she'll stick out her hand, expecting for him to shake, and she'll also take out her business card, and she'll say, "If you need anything, here's my number."
Yep.
Again, Kitty Rosewood.
And he will shake your hand, and he's not civilized enough to know that this shouldn't hurt. So it does sting a little bit. He's very forceful about it. He takes your business card, and as I told you before, this is your point of contact for the army. So this is who headquarters is for you until the war is over. So your call goes to this guy.
Perfect. But now he knows where. Did he know previously that we were the group, or he just knew?
He
General?
knew a group was coming.
Okay, there we go.
I'm interested to see what you guys can pull out. I'm hoping that'll be the edge we need. Oh, and I'll tell the folks out there not to bother you none. I know they like to pick on those with the book learnings.
I have a feeling that they would be sorely mistaken to do so.
Yeah. I appreciate that. It's hard to clean blood off the armor.
Awesome. All right. Then he will turn his back to you and try to address the next piece of business, which is telling the guys in the field not to eat their horses when they get hungry.
As we go to leave, I start speaking to the others, but in Celestial,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of guys that I'm like, these guys are a couple of barbarians, but at least they're good for something. But in Celestial, so
Yeah.
that hopefully most people can't understand us.
Kitty will give you a brief nod, and she'll say, "I wasn't expecting anything else, to be honest. These are ruffians, after all."
It's like, yeah, and then like a little more like seriously, more solemnly than her outwards persona, like Reche will respond like, "Yeah, I'm quite familiar with the type."
And Vorthos, also in Celestial, will comment. I had hoped for a little bit more impressive force here so that we could get this done quickly.
Did anyone else happen to see that elf boy, or man, off in the corner? He was mouthing something?
I'm just gonna say I didn't, because technically I rolled high enough, but I realized that not only did I not roll the right thing, but I rolled two different wrong things on accident.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so I'll just say that no, I didn't.
Okay.
Apparently he wants us to see him. He has an idea.
Well, that would be good, because I don't particularly relish the idea of walking.
Well, You have those wings, don't you?
Yes, but they get tired.
Understandable. You
We
are-
could always fix that.
I
reminds me of a
don't-
joke.
I don't want to replace my wings with your jetpacks.
Oh god, I want jetpacks.
The
No,
the
import-
the failure rate is below 70% now.
Also, I like the implication that you would replace your wings with jetpacks. So basically, your arms would be jetpacks. Or no, I guess not your arms, but your I guess you'd have 2 jetpacks though coming out if you replace both wings.
So according to the documentary Iron Man, you'd have to have both arms straight down in order to fly.
That is true. I also did see that documentary.
You're right back there?
Huh?
Oh, it sounded like you were throwing things.
No.
Okay, sit. Alright. Yeah, as you leave the tent and you guys are talking in Celestial, you can clearly see the not very well hidden elf by one of the nearest tents. He's trying to stay out of sight of the War Chief, but he's trying to get your attention as you walk out.
War Chief, eh?
Pay no attention over there, blue team.
What is this espionage?
I know, right? She's gone so far as to sleeping with the DM, trying to get info.
Jeez, this whole thing is just it's scrubbed.
Now, in order to make it fair, I'll give one of you the option to do the same.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So, do we have to do a perception check to see the elf?
No. He's making himself be seen by you. Just not the War Chief. He does not want to have to deal with that again.
So, Kippy will subtly nod towards the rest of the group, towards the elf, and she'll start walking her way over there, and she'll say, "David, come along," and a little bell here, following behind her.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah, just this disembodied dingling.
So, in a different D&D game that I watched, they've covered their invisible servant with a sheet of velvet. So they know where it is at all times, and it's not so weird. Just another thing you could do. But anyway, yeah. You approach this elf, and he ushers you behind this tent where you're not line of sight to the main tent anymore, and says, "My word, I'm so glad that some intellectuals have shown up. This has been a living hell, all 3 circles of them."
I can only imagine. You poor soul, how have you been surviving?
I have been surviving because of a discovery that I would not pass up for the life of me. The problem is I cannot get it to safety alone.
What kind of discovery is this?
Yes, and if you could speak loud and clearly into the funnel here, and she holds out the whisper jar.
Not here. Please, take your things, come with me. Come to my house, and you can rest. I have a shower. There's kitchens. Please, allow me to hospitalize you. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Anyway, come to my place. Be safe, be warm, be well fed, and we'll talk there. Does this sound amenable?
I think the word you were looking for was hospitable.
Oh, thank you. My God, living with these savages for so long, I've lost the words.
I hope not all of them, because I'll need quite a few.
But yeah, the elf will skip on down the path. On the, let's see, it would be the northeast side of the camp. There's a road or a footpath that looks to be trashed, destroyed, and it leads into a broken town. And once you get through this town, on the top of a hill is one standing building. And this seems to be the elf's house.
I have an idea of what may have happened here, but would you like to explain?
So these ruins are of a... the war camp needed a place to set up camp, and of course they're not going to do it where somebody else lives, Your big option is to remove the people and take their stuff, and that's what happened. But I fought long and hard. I said that this location would be of huge significance to the war, and I don't think I'd be wrong. But Tutu's patience is running very thin.
And why do you posit that hypothesis?
Well, he thinks that the internal workings of the house should be melted down and turned into weapons. And I think losing a device of this nature would be a devastating loss for the arcane sciences and history. Thunderstorm, you can't chew on my electric cables. Okay. And now I'm a pirate.
I was going to guess. I would just be like, yes, we must preserve this.
Well, why don't we learn about what it is exactly first? There
Yes,
are a number of bogus cultural artifacts that I've known.
I think,
It's mechanical. I'm fine with it, whatever it is.
I think the lot of you would really appreciate what this is. Please, come in. And walking up the hill, there's a nice walkway, and it leads you into a 2-story house. The front of the house has, on the second story, a small balcony. There's some stained glass windows. It's incredibly comfy, and it looks like it's been well preserved despite the war ravaging in the entire valley below. And the war party coming in and taking what they want. They seem to have left this place alone. But yeah, as you enter, completely normal cottage for the most part. The second story has various bedrooms. There's 5 of them, all laid out. The bottom story has a kitchen. It's got a storeroom. There's a reading nook, a fireplace, dining table, a craft area. It's a very nice 2-story cottage. And the elf, who's kind of just like jumping at the bit, he seems very excited to show off the place, and is like, well, do you want to rest, or do you want to see do you want to see it first?
I say go on and show us, if that's okay with everyone else. I know that y'all are, or you all, not y'all, you all are the academic mind. That's more of your wheelhouse, but I am here to support your endeavors. And she'll say that addressing. Jade, how do you say your character's name?
Reche. It's like leche, but with an R at the beginning instead.
Cute, I like it.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Actually,
she'll say that.
Yeah.
She'll say that addressing Dr. Simoff. Is she a doctor as well, by the way?
No. Nope. She doesn't. I don't think she thinks she needs a piece of paper to say that she can teach someone something. So she didn't get her doctorate.
Someone's like, yes, I too would like to see this artifact that you were talking about.
Yes, I'd like to know more about it. Again, loud and clearly into the funnel here, please.
Yeah. And the elf who is listening to you talk and is just very interested in your response to "Do you want to see it?" has a hand on one of the walls, is very interested in the building itself. It's like, okay, yes, please follow me this way, and takes you past the main entryway, which has the stairways that go up to the second story, and pulls back a rug, and there's a trap door on the floor, and opens it up, and then hops down there with a grace and dexterity you can only see in the elfin people.
I'd follow along.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I would follow along as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I follow along with none of the grace and dexterity shown by our host.
Mm-hmm. So you all get down to the basement area, and what you'd expect is some sort of stone cellar that has racks for bottles of wine and food stores. And what you've walked into is the belly of what can only be described as like This would be the inside of a warforged. You see cogs and gears, and everything's metal with rivets, and all these gears are not moving at all. But
You. Oh, sorry, go on.
go on.
I was gonna say, with this, you see a brief, like his eyes light up a little bit, and
Literally.
almost like in replacement to his jaw dropping, his hammer just falls to the ground.
And the metal on metal sound. You feel like the metal is. It sounds like the metal underneath is hollow. Like there's another layer. If there's something else going on below this, and you're just on the first layer of it. And the elf starts poking around, and he's like, "So, Warforged technology is combined with an elemental furnace. We are looking at some primordial magics here that I have just scratched the surface on." And he's going off on about the little things. It's like, this looks to be Elven. This is Dwarven. This is amazing, and I can't share it with anybody. But it's in danger, as you heard. And I lost you. Damn it. And I'm back. Hello.
So excited about this technology magic.
Yeah,
Dwarven
right.
and
It's
Elven.
Dwarven and Elven, and it's in danger, and I cannot share it with anybody, and I don't know what to do anymore.
Oh my goodness! Well, I don't believe I've seen the likes of this before. This is quite interesting. I'm with you.
So,
Yeah, this is quite the find. Have you looked into what its purpose is yet?
I can't, for the life of me, figure... I am an evocation specialist. I was brought over here to, as eloquently as I can, make things go boom. This is outside of my field 5 times over, and I can't, for the life of me, get anyone to come and look at it. You are my next big hope. I think seeing you, hearing you talk, I think you might be the ones that can save this house.
I think we might be able to help and do that. Yes.
And he places a hand on the mechanism, this web of non-moving gears. He says, well, it's not going anywhere tonight. I don't think Dutudu is coming to melt it at the moment. He's got pressing matters. Please, come upstairs, rest. I know you're exhausted. You could definitely use a bath. I'll make food. We could talk all about it tonight.
And he knows about this lower section as well.
Yes, he has seen it. He has seen all of the possibilities. He wants to melt it down and make spears and axes and arrowheads.
While I appreciate the straightforwardness of his plan, that seems imprudent.
So
Agreed.
maybe if we can figure out what it's for, maybe explain that it would be useful in the war effort. Maybe I don't know.
Yes, he doesn't seem to be quite the tactical mastermind in some aspects. If this could be of use, then maybe we could liken it to a catapult or something, better served as it is rather than melted down.
I agree with Dr. Bothy here. It would be best to represent it that way, but if you're insinuating that we smell, I would greatly appreciate a hot bath.
And please, as long as you're here, make yourself at home. Consider this your home away from home from the academy, which you said, I believe that you said you were from.
Yes. We are from the academy, and Lori keeps on forgetting what the name of the academy is. But the SAA.
Are you an alumnus?
I am not. I'm self-taught. Oh, let me show you the house, because I do have that here, and it'd be a shame not to share it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Ooh, very nice.
Yep, yep. So
Mhm.
make yourselves at home. There's water from the well out back. There's a place to take a bath. You please. We shall discuss this after you're well rested. You look exhausted.
Thank you. Oh, and I forgot to ask. Oh, what was your name? I apologize if I missed it.
Elven
Yes,
name. How about Julian?
It was a pleasure to meet you, Sir Julien.
And me to you. Hopefully, while you are resting, we can talk maybe something beyond red meats and sharp objects. Anything would be fantastic. Maybe the arcane arts.
Yes, and we can update you on everything that's going on at our school.
Oh, thank
I'm sure
goodness.
the professors are itching to discuss their research.
And
Great.
yep. Did I lose you?
Hmm?
Okay, you're there. Yeah, he'll climb back up the ladder and show you to the house.
Yeah, Stimov, kind of, when he waits until everyone else goes, and as he goes to leave, it's sort of like he has his hand on like kind of the metal, and then kind of like regretfully pulls it away and climbs up.
Mm-hmm.
I-
Thought you'd take
I
a
think
bite at that.
oops. Yeah. And I think as Reche is walking around too, she's kind of like pulling like a blind person like shtick and like kind of tapping everything with her like quarterstaff. It's like hearing the sounds coming off it and everything, but also just kind of playing that up.
So yeah, Julian will make you a meal while you guys clean up and get rested. If there's nothing you guys want to do for the night, we could just say you rested and we'll pick this up again in the morning. I don't know if you want to go through the whole process.
I'm good fast forwarding.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm good as well.
Yes.
After a well-rested night and day, a few square meals in you, Julian wakes you up after his trance and is wondering if you wouldn't mind possibly doing some work downstairs.
I would love to.
Yes, we would relish the idea.
Yes, please remove your exhaustion. You no longer have that.
Okay.
And Kitty will, she'll say, I'm not quite good with the research, but I can observe or be of help in a different way.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be great. All right. So the downstairs is roughly the same floor plan as the upstairs rooms. This box, and there's plenty of room for you all to march around and fiddle with bits and tinker and not get in each other's way. How do you want to approach tackling this problem of a magical item that's not working? Do you want to use Arcana, History, Nature? Are you gonna persuade the gears into running? Is there anything off the top of your head that you're thinking of?
I am thinking that because this apparently has elven and dwarf and maybe some other sort of influences, Vorthos here would first look at it from a historical perspective and
Mhm.
see if there is
Yeah.
any precedent.
Yeah, I was actually going to see between time as a loremonger having a patron that's very knowledge focused to see if she has access to any information pertaining to this too from a history standpoint as well.
Yeah, you can each do a history check, or one of you can do it with advantage.
And can I maybe help with, or do a Arcana check?
Absolutely.
And Stimov would help her with that too. So
Wonderful.
What do you want to do, Phil?
So-
do you want to do?
A history
Which
check
ones
with
each do?
advantage and an Arcana check with advantage. I think the one with the highest stat should probably roll it, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
your
Yeah.
guys' character.
what do you have for Arcana?
I have +3, and with advantage, I got 19.
and I can make the history roll if you don't mind, because mine is huge.
I wonder why I didn't.
Yeah, it showed up as a 0 on my. Oh, it says null +3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
It's weird, but it's a 19.
It's a 19. I'm wondering why I stopped doing that.
That's
Oh.
weird.
Oh yeah. Phil's showed up as null as well.
That's
Let me check something. Let me.
It's saying that my total was 30.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so Sean's showed up now.
19 plus
This doesn't
11.
count. This doesn't
Yeah,
count
mine
if
does.
I'm testing something.
Yeah, mine doesn't count either. I was
That's
just
fine.
testing.
All right. So with a 19 Arcana and a 30 History, we'll start with the History first.
Okay, so sorry. But
You're-
I think I know what's going on. I think the advantage is fucking it up in roll 20.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see.
Like it shows up correctly in D&D Beyond, but in roll 20 it doesn't know how to handle it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, that's weird. Why
Oh,
did
sure.
you do that twice?
We'll
Yeah.
just have to do it double rolls.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, this is first episode. We're gonna work out all the kinks. Those naughty kinks. So yeah, with the history check, you are seeing some really basic magics and traditions, processes, some metalworking. It's all old stuff, but it's layered on top of each other. So if you take the basics and you do them really well and you do them a lot, you get something really cool. That's what you're looking at here. You're looking at somebody who's studied various methods of controlling elementals, of controlling arcane energies to get something done. And they overlap and they work almost seamlessly. And yeah, it's super interesting. With a 30, I'm going to tell you that this is kind of like a mobile suit kind of thing, where it requires a pilot. But the pilot isn't a person like you or me, it's an elemental. And the elemental sits in this thing, and it runs the bigger machine. But there's no elemental in this one. And Kitty, with the Arcana check of a 19, you go through this process, and you're looking at a very old tech that has been very well maintained. It's you see the rune circles, and if you were to look at it, you'd say, "Wow, these are really old," but you'd find spots where the chalk has been touched up over the years. So you're seeing layers and layers of this writing, and it's not just the writing, it's the wiring for the Warforged stuff and these gears. They're old, but they're repaired, and someone's been taking very good care of this for many years. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the device, it's just not running.
Okay. She will relay this information to the rest of the group, and it's curious. It seems like it's been kept up, but it's just not running.
And Vorthos would also relay what he and Reche know about this, and he'd go, well, I did say the craftspeople who made this are a little bit after my own heart, working with many different sources to create something a little bit more spectacular.
Yeah. Interesting conglomeration of knowledge here.
After you convey all this information, Julian says, "So, what can we do to fix it? What can we do to make it run?"
Depends on if you have access to an elemental.
Huh. Any type in particular?
We were going to ask you that.
The DM, I assume?
Yes.
Let's see. Give me one more Arcana check. As the bird eats the cat food. I'll be right back. Bird! You can't do that! That's illegal! That's not bird food for a reason. Okay, sorry.
So I rolled 17.
Okay. An earth elemental. And
Okay.
if you say earth elemental to Julian, he will not look thrilled at that response. He might know of an earth elemental, but he will be very unhappy to see me.
Oh dear. What is the story?
Uh, when I found this place originally, had encounters with an earth elemental that was in the premises before and I just thought it was lost. Now that I'm putting all the pieces together, I might have kicked it out of its home.
Oh, no.
We can. There are caves in the valley. I think that it's loitering in those areas. I can take you to it.
Well. Oh, sorry. Go on, Dr. Vorthy.
Well, mistakes happen. We've all done things that we wish we hadn't. And yes, it would be a good idea to bring us to this lost elemental.
Yes, we. Oh, go on, Kitty.
Perhaps, we can explain that it was a misunderstanding as long as you're willing to maybe apologize to it.
Yes, of course. I feel absolutely horrible, actually. I just saw an elemental encroaching on a building. I didn't think... I feel really bad about this now. Oh my goodness.
Well, we cannot let your petty mistakes get in the way of scientific progress.
And if it makes you feel better, I have your remorse recorded for posterity.
It does not.
Do we happen to know
Well,
what
one of us is happy.
Do you happen to know what, Lori?
what earth elementals like? I'm so sorry, Jade. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's good.
Earth elementals, they're very stubborn, they're very hard-headed, they are... imagine the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
In fact, I'm probably just going to give him a Brooklyn accent. Or a Boston
Great.
accent? Yeah, let's do that.
It's an Earth plane accent.
Yeah, it's an Earth plane accent. With a lot of haze and use guys.
Yeah.
Yes, such a mystical language. We will never understand it fully.
To be fair, I mean, it's not like there's a Brooklyn in this universe, so
Right.
I mean,
Sure.
that would be a different accent.
Alright. So it's a few hours trek from here to the caves. Assuming that you guys want to head out immediately, unless... Yeah,
Yep.
nay?
Yeah, no, I don't
Yes.
Okay,
see
cool.
any objections to that.
Yeah.
It does not take a lot of poking around for you to find the stone creature that's loitering around the caves, who immediately picks up a boulder to throw at Julian the second he sees it. It sees him.
Whoa. Hold on.
And it waits, boulder above head. I'm listening.
Kitty, you're better with words than I am.
I appreciate you guys bringing me this guy so I can squish him.
So, in regards to the squishing, actually, so my name is Kitty Ropewood, and I am here to extend an olive branch. You see, our Julian made a grave mistake.
And Julian leans from behind you to wave.
Right. And we actually came here to make a peace offering.
All right, I'm listening.
Oh, I didn't get your name. What is your name?
It's
And loud and clear into the funnel, if you would.
yeah. It's Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
Ah, yes. Very
Okay.
nice.
So yes, Rock, the Dwayne Johnson. So Julian here has explained to me that he may have accidentally kicked you out of your home.
My
Is that-
home. That's right.
Right. And so we want to make this correct and offer you back your home.
Yes, and he's very sorry. I could play it back for you if you want.
I'll take you. Wait, you just like that? You're giving me my homes back?
Well, you see, there's just one little stipulation.
I knew there'd be something.
Well, it would hardly take any of your time, actually. But I believe your home is a big, beautiful mansion, right? With the nice decorations and the big giant machine on the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were hoping that you could maybe turn on that machine for us. Sorry, she's turning into a Southern Belle by accident.
My word. Yeah.
Honestly, it could be a fun character trait that she actually does have that accent and she has to actively fight against just talking that way.
I like that so much. Okay.
So let me get this straight. You come traipsing in here to this cave. You telling me the guy who kicked me out of my home is sorry. You got it on tape. You're gonna
Yeah, I
let
can
me
play
get
it,
my
and she
home-
just starts playing it regardless of his response.
Yeah, I like that. You want me to go back to my home, get back into my machine, and show you how it works. The machine that I was kicked out of and not allowed to use for who knows how long.
All right, I can see that you're upset there, but let's look at things logically.
No,
There
I
is an
want this. I miss being in that thing like crazy. Do you know how much of a thrill it is to get that thing running?
Right.
No, all right.
Not saying, no, actually, I'm not familiar. Could you tell me loud and clear into the funnel how exciting
Oh
it
my
was?
gosh. It's power. It's pure power. There's nothing like it. But yeah, you have no idea what it's like to have 4 extra legs. Oh, the best.
Well, I am very happy to know that we are, it seems like, in accordance.
In accordance, this was the easiest deal I ever made in any game ever.
Well, there's just one little aspect that we haven't covered, and it's that doing this, it would be saving the home from destruction from the army, and as a sort of payment for that, we would need you to operate it for us, rather than just on your own for your own
Hey.
amusements.
You guys maintain me, you feed me, I'll run the thing for you. I'll take you where you need to go. Not a problem.
Excellent.
Splendid.
I love a being that gets straight to the point.
Yeah. You don't know what it's like. This is the best. He goes to hug Julian, who doesn't know what to do and stands still and gets squished by a big hug. This is the best day ever. I get my home back. I get my legs back. You know what? You're all right, you guys.
Julian, hug him back.
He can't breathe.
Tentatively, Kitty will pat Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Wait,
Rock
the
Dwayne
Dwayne Johnson.
Rock the Dwayne.
No affiliation
Yeah.
with Dwayne the Rock Johnson or Dwayne
Yes.
the Rock Johnson Industries or Incorporated.
Yes, you cannot sue us.
She'll pat him on the shoulder and she'll say, "Perfect. Well, welcome to the team. And this is my little merry gang. We have Dr. Simov here, Madame
Pleasure to
Redman,
meet you.
Charmed.
and Dr. Vothy here."
Hello.
Well, ain't you the cutest little thing? Hey, you know what they say, stones and birds. We usually don't mix, but this is okay.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
All right.
Well, actually, I heard that they actually mix quite efficiently, more to one's benefit than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would be quite a waste. Normally you could get 2 of them.
I am slightly uncomfortable with this conversation now.
Oh yeah, the efficiency's way off.
Right. And I am Kitty Rosewood, and with that, she'll do a little curtsy.
And it will curtsy back at you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. You guys have a new friend, and it's Rock the Dwayne Johnson, who will follow you back home. And, oh boy, it's so good to be back here. I keep saying you don't know, but you guess you don't know. You haven't been here long. You guys, you mind if I do the thing?
Go right on ahead.
Oh yeah. So his rock lower extremities kind of scrape across the floorboards, and he kicks open the hatch and hops down there. You hear the clunk of stone on metal. And are you guys following? Or are you staying outside? What's the deal?
Oh, definitely following in.
Oh, yes.
I'll
Definitely.
follow, but I'll be kind of behind Asma
Okay.
because he's the biggest.
Yeah. You see Rock the Dwayne Johnson stretch as he gets down into this metal room, and he looks a little out of place because stone, and it doesn't seem to be his thing. But a hand reaches into a panel, and he starts to like get absorbed into the whole mix. It's like he's being funneled into it, and after a little bit of time, once his entire body's inside the mechanism, you kind of see sand filling up what looks to be an hourglass, and it's slowly trickling down. And it's the same color and texture as the rock, stone, rock, the Dwayne Johnson, but it's much smaller and finer. And the machine starts to whir to life as the sands start to fall from the hourglass. Lights turn on. They're not lanterns. They're definitely some sort of arcane power. The gears are rotating. Don't put your hands in them, you'll lose them. And the house is shifting. And you feel it shift to one side and then the other, much like a peg being wrenched from a hole that it just barely fits into. The house gets lifted up.
Oh, this is most convenient.
Yeah. And if you guys were to go to the outskirts of the house, it looks like the house has been lifted from the foundation, and stretching on all the sides of the house are these rocky legs. They've got the same make and color as Rock the Dwayne Johnson's body, but they are almost spider-like as they go off into the... Here, I've got a picture. What am I doing?
Yes, this will do nicely.
I'm going to move this to the map layer. So if you're looking at
Oh,
that...
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes.
This
So-
war is already worth it.
Yeah, so, hey, this is what I really look like, you guys. The other one's kind of just like a semi-form, and you hear the house rumble as it's saying this thing. They're like, so where you want me to take you?
The Rock, you are absolutely phenomenal. Such a doll. Thank you so much. Now, I believe our coordinates are towards a farm of some sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll kind of look back towards the rest, because
Okay.
she may have not been, like, taking down notes like that.
That is correct.
Yes, the farm's to the northwest.
So I know you guys
Okay.
are really interested in this whole walking house thing, but the thing that's also interesting is there's a small party of people walking up the path to this house. One of them you recognize as Da-Da-Da, finally coming to take his bits.
Oh, right.
Because timing...
Would you please ring him up and smooth things over for us, Kitty?
Right. So she will open up her sending stone,
Uh-huh.
and she will ring him.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so you dial him up, and you get the telltale sign of, we're sorry, your service seems to be not working in this location. Please try again later.
Not again. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. So she will go out towards the front door,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
holding on like to the walls because I imagine it's shaky, and she's gonna open the door and hold the cell phone out and hit redial.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I some of grabs onto her to provide like an anchoring point so that she doesn't fall off.
Perfect,
That's the
because
thing.
otherwise it would be a deck save, just to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So leaning out of the door and hanging on to someone for assistance, you can get 1 bar of service on your crystalline tablet. And does it ring or vibrate? How does this work?
Hold on. Shoot. I think it rings. It does. So like one of the things that it can do, it's able to ring. It's able to blink. So essentially, it's a cell phone,
Uh-huh.
but D&D version.
Yeah, and that's your end. What about Dutata's end?
What do
Or
you mean?
did they just get the message in their head?
Oh, I don't know. See, I was thinking everyone had like a cell phone in this situation, but whatever the DM wants.
Well, you handed out the business card, and I think for this one specific time, because normally your business cards are the connecting point, but that's at later levels.
Oh, okay.
So I think just for this one, because he's HQ, he has a special connection to you, and your business card in Dutata's loincloth satchel pocket goes.
That's what I was gonna ask if it. I was gonna ask if it made the default ringtone.
Hello?
Hi, General Da-da-da?
Yeah, this is the cat.
Yes, Kitty Rosewood.
Are you guys on the walking house over there? No, I'm still in the Rock's voice.
No. Yes, actually, good news. This, how do I describe this? Well, this walking house, will serve us as a base. Remember that you told us to find accommodations and whatnot? And,
I did
you know,
say that.
mode of transportation? Well, we found it.
Well, we're gonna make a bunch of spears out of that, so I hope it's worth it. But I did say what I said.
Yes. Now, I promise that we will do exactly as you say, and we will aid the war. Just let us just have faith in us. Have faith in the Rosewood name.
And for now, you have it. Go on, fight well. Let us know what you need.
At the mention of the in the name of like the in the Rosewood name, Simov contemplates letting go for just a second, but he decides against it.
Okay. So you guys are off in your new base, the house on Crawling Hill, and it's taken off towards the farmland.
Woo!
Woo.
How you guys feeling so far?
Really good.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think like almost your like description of what is going on, Rich, has been like narrating that into the whisper jar to make note of what's happening.
Oh, so good. Alright, so I'm going to bring us back to the map so you guys can see. I think we're all in agreement that you guys are taking off to the northwest, going up towards that farmland. There's a river that runs kind of along a road, and it'll take you up in that direction. I did mention that each hex is 2.5 days across, and you were already most of the way through that hex, the main one. So
Okay.
it won't take you long to get up to where you need to go. Rock the Dwayne Johnson doesn't necessarily need a driver, per se. It's not like a horse and buggy. You kind of just say, I want to go here, and you guys can do whatever you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say there will be some time, though. Like Simov might spend a couple hours just asking Rock how it feels to operate the machine,
Uh-huh.
because he's a little sad that he can't operate it himself.
Well, that's because you got one of them non-elemental bodies. I'm just saying, maybe one day we can get you upgraded, get you into something a little fire, maybe some water.
That would make repairs much easier.
Yeah, you just need to throw some wood on you. It was good times. I just roll in the sand and I'm great to go.
Do we need to
Maybe we
supply-
can work on that together.
Lori?
And I was going to ask, do we need to supply you with any sand, Rock?
Well, Rock the Dwayne Johnson says that after maybe 3 days of constant running, as he's going to require some downtime to rest. But if you guys want, every couple days or so, we can just he'll burrow into the ground when you guys land, so it'll be an unassuming house, and he'll take his rest and kind of play in the dirt until you guys are ready to go.
Okay.
The house isn't very fast; it's about the speed of a carriage, but it's super convenient that you can just have a home base wherever you're going.
Oh, I forgot to ask. And I'm sorry if you already described this, but like, how many bedrooms are there? Baths, kitchen, etc.
Yeah, bring us back to the house. So at the second floor, there are 5 bedrooms. Down at the bottom, there's the kitchen in the top left. There's a dining room in the bottom left. This is a workshop that Julian has been using as a staging area for various arcane works. There's a sitting room and a living room, which you guys can convert into whatever you want. And then there's a storeroom in the middle, which has the carpets in it, and that has the stairway down into the basement. But you can put anything you want in any of these spots.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so that's a question I didn't really think about until right now. Did Julian have enough time to get off, or is he with us?
Julian's with you at the moment. This is fascinating, and he hasn't left. If you want to resend an invitation to Julian, I'll be like, I would be fine retconning that.
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm fine with it. I just wanted to know, just for knowledge sake.
Yeah, he doesn't need much. He'll put some stuff into his workshop area, and a sleeping bag is all he needs. I mean, you guys saved the day on this house, so he's eternally grateful.
Julian, I have some great news. Kitty will say, and she'll pat Simov on the shoulder. Thank you so much for being my support.
I like great news, says Julian.
I just got off the phone with General Dutudu, and he gave us his blessing.
Are we getting married?
Oh, no.
Believe me, you are below her standards.
Fair enough.
She goes a little bit red in the cheeks. No. In accordance to the house, he is not going to destroy it. I mean, it's much harder now that it's on the move, but he has given us his blessing on using the house and not breaking it up for parts.
This is immensely refreshing. I am so happy. Once again, I cannot thank you enough for saving this place. My life, actually. Everything. I'm sure I would have died trying to keep them from this place.
You probably would have.
So I owe you an immense debt. Name it, and I will try to make it happen.
I'm sure we'll think of some things, but for now, use of this home is a good start.
Yes, also you're invited to come along with us in our adventures. You could even, be a sort of, documenter, or of sorts.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I would gladly chronicle your adventures.
Yes, and then after you write it down, if you could say everything you're writing down out loud, loud and clear into the funnel, that would be great. Save me a lot of trouble.
He pulls some parchment from his area and starts to get to work. Diary in the Walking House, day 1.
Great.
Is Kitty suggesting that he be our documancer?
Yes.
He does not have a standing in the college, so he will not be able to be your documancer.
Okay. Just somebody there to chronological things. So
Yes.
that'll be good.
Maybe one day he might be indoctrinated into the school, but today is not that day.
No. Also, just to be completely about too, that's sort of what I do as well. Like that's sort of what the loremonger is supposed to do as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was gonna say he's just an intern. It's fine.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was like. If you could just say everything you're writing down out loud for me, that would save me a lot of trouble. Like it's like.
And as Kitty
Realizing-
contemplates making me the new Documancer, the thought suddenly occurs to her that it is probably not possible yet. Maybe one day, but not today.
And realizing her mistake after Madame Reche makes that note to dictate very loud and clear, she'll turn to her and like nod her head. I apologize, Madame. I forgot that this is your livelihood as well. I did not mean to insult you.
I mean, frankly, if it makes it all easier, I'll take all the information I can get as quick as I can get it. Frankly.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Oh, I'm so excited. Could go for a cup of tea. Do you happen to have tea in this establishment, Julian?
Do I ever? Puts down the quill and the pen after writing, and Kitty afterwards asks for a cup of tea. Will fill myself in more in the future, and puts down the quill. Tea it is. Does anybody want to do anything on their downtime? You have a 2-day walk. Well, day and a half.
Well, were we all going to sit down and talk about things? Was that something that Julian had mentioned, I thought?
That'd be fine.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't want to railroad anyone.
Oh no.
No. I'm fine with that.
Well, I would say that Vorthos would definitely just be studying the hell out of the mechanisms here,
Okay.
trying to get as much insight into it as possible.
Yeah, and when Samov has free time, he definitely help Porthos.
Okay. Yeah, then both of you give me a either investigation or arcana or whatever you think would work best for you in this situation, with advantage.
Okay.
And the rest of you.
Oh wait,
Mhm.
wait. So are you saying like one of us rolls with advantage?
No,
or...
both of you. You got time.
Oh, okay.
Time amongst the machines. You also have a very friendly elemental that can answer questions. You got stuff going on.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Okay, so it's a 14, 18 with a +4 for both. So like it's a +4, so it would be a 22
Okay.
for an Arcana check.
Mm-hmm.
We can see mine just was a 14.
Yep. And the 14 is good. You're picking up on little bits of it. It's taking, once again, I'm telling you that it's taking simple arcana ideas and it's merging them together to make something more than what they would be apart. And it's giving you some ideas on maybe what might have gone wrong in the past, maybe overcomplicating things. I don't know. We'll work on that. But it's interesting to see how somebody married these similar ideas in a way that makes them way more complex. Professor Samov, you are really getting to know the inner workings of this. The parts that are more Warforged, you're starting to see how the linkages come together, and like you'll see, oh, up there, that linkage looks very similar to that elbow joint that you have designed yourself. But it's not an elbow, that's just something that's transferring some energy to the system. It's just being used in different places. Like somebody has Warforged blueprints and used the blueprints in a way they shouldn't have been used in. Like
That's
it's kit bashed.
Yeah. That's an interesting way. I never would have thought of using that at a component there. This will be important for future improvements.
Oh yeah. The rest of you that aren't down into the basement talking with the machine, hey, how do you guys want to go about getting to this farm area? Do you want to walk on the road? Do you want to walk next to the road? Straight line?
Wait, what was that again?
How do you want to travel from point A to point B? Do you want to just have Rock the Dwayne Johnson do a straight line path, hell or high water, or along the road, or next to the road?
Well, we don't want to bring dishonor upon the Academy's name by, like, ruining things.
Uh-huh.
So I suggest maybe, like, on the road or alongside the road.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe alongside the road, yeah.
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 And these Warforged footprints, they leave a mark where they land, and being alongside the road probably is the best bet. And I assume you ask Rock the Dwayne Johnson to watch out for, like, anytime you have to cross over the road, don't step directly on it. Tiptoe around the delicate bits.
Yes.
Don't crush any travelers.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
push travelers. And you get a couple of travelers wide-eyed as a house goes rolling by. But it is a very relaxing day and a half travel. Since there are 6 feet, you don't feel like you're jostled around too much when the walking's happening. And during the night times, it's actually pretty relaxing as you get swayed to sleep. Is anybody a cartographer?
So we do have a cartographer, but it's Zach, and
Okay.
he won't be joining us until.
All right. Well, I'm not going
I-
to penalize you for not having a cartographer with you at the moment. So as you
Yeah.
travel and the cartographer uses his ability to do stuff, you wind up with a map that looks a little something like this.
Fantastic. Oh, and I did want to have a conversation with Julian
Uh-huh.
on our, preferably sipping tea. And she would ask, so Julian, since you've been in contact with the general, could you tell us a little bit more about the opponents that were facing the adversary? He didn't really elaborate, but then again, I didn't really ask.
Right,
So
right.
not to interrupt. Oh, sorry, not to interrupt, Kurt, but Ratchet would join in that too. Since the other two are down there, she definitely wants to sit in on this conversation.
Yeah,
as well.
and also, like, this could be when everybody's together. This is during a day and a half
Oh, yeah.
worth of time.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have no problem saying that you guys take a break from tinkering with some soot and, like, arcane grease on your face. And you're like, that was awesome. What are you guys talking about? So I'm fine with everybody being together, but this is good.
Tea for everyone. Though.
Yeah, tea for everyone. Tea, biscuits, sandwiches, the whole shebang. Julian has kind of taken on the role of your manservant, I guess. He owes you his life. You're in his home, which is now technically, I guess, your home. So he's got to work a little bit, and he doesn't mind that. Yeah, right. The people of Misson and the Mesithia Empire. So you know that the king of Misson has recently died, and his young son, the prince, and Prince Gregory, is an idiot. There's no kind way to say this. People don't think that he can run a country. He definitely can't run a small party, so he isn't going to be able to handle this. And the war chiefs have decided this would be a perfect time to hop in and steal as much of it as they can. And as to adversary, it's the Mizzen King's army versus ours, and the people between here and there are just in the way. They're living on this land that just happens to be of the Mizzen Empire. The only thing that makes them an enemy is because they were born here and we were born there. That's not going to stop the war chiefs from coming in and slaughtering countless to get what they want.
Right.
Well, that is quite unfortunate and heartbreaking and all of that. But hopefully we can mitigate some of that while speeding along the war and getting us to the post-war recovery phase as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't get a chance to hear too much of what you guys were talking about, but you did mention how you want to get in here first before the army does, and that's pretty darn noble. Because I'd rather be seeing you guys in a walking house than them with their axes any day.
Agreed.
Noble and strategic sometimes coincide.
Yep. Actually, are you... How do I word this in a way? I owe you my life. You saved me in this house. And to that I am indebted. Are you... How do I say this nicely? Evil?
Oh, goodness. No, no, no. Well,
Depending on the lighting.
um,
No, that's a jest.
I don't think the good professors and I could classify ourselves as evil, as in more, we are curious for knowledge, and from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, professors, but we are here for the greater knowledge and to contribute. I could be wrong, and she'll motion her hand towards the rest of the group.
No, I think that is a fairly good summary. I personally would say that while we're not evil per se, we understand that sometimes sacrifices must be made.
Ah, yes.
Pragmatic.
We are not naive. If, however, it makes more sense to keep as many people alive, if as possible, if we can.
All right. If anybody's lying, give me a deception check. If not, don't worry about it.
Yeah, some office into lying.
Nope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not to talk too much in game mechanics, but yeah, no, very, very neutral on my end.
Yeah, my character is definitely very. I think I put them on as like a lawful neutral because much more logistics and stuff. So
Yeah. He, after talking with you and asking these questions, he doesn't get the sense that you guys are necromancers out to collect the souls of a bunch of neutral people. So, like, he's pretty chill with you guys at the point.
I think the only thing that Kitty would add would be, I'm just looking, honestly, to add more prestige. And, again, I'm the coordinator and the PR person for the university, and if I can get the academy's name out there as well as my own, then it is a win in the books.
All right. Oh, and one more thing as to... Hold on, let me pull it up because they have their own sheet. One more thing. We aren't the only nation to... Oh wow, they really did all that stuff. Okay. We aren't the only nation to pounce on the opportunity. There's the nation to the west, and it's Fror Splolor, which is FROR SPLOR. And they are sending in their own armies, and they are going to be doing the same thing that we are. Oh, bulbs. I'm back.
So how did you spell that once more?
Yeah, it's FROR SPLOR. Fror Spelor. And their nation, imagine Great Britain. Their armies are coming in for whatever noble reason they see, and they're trying to clean up the mess that was left behind. And they are approaching from the west, hoping to beat us in taking the nation.
And as out of character, would that be the other team?
That is the other team.
Okay. Kitty would ask Julian, so do you happen to know more about their forces?
Force Belor and their troops, they're mostly ceremonial. They are a nation of a monarchy. Their troops are highly embellished, but they're not really great fighters. They're too good for their own good, actually. they'd rather talk someone to death rather than fight them, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know how it's going to win them a war.
Yes, it seems like they're quite the admirable group, but despite that, we have our own concerns, and we have to do the job that we have to do.
Give me an investigation check.
Everyone or just Dr. Vorthos?
Whoever's asking of the other team.
Okay, yes.
I mean, I didn't actually say anything, but my character definitely would want it.
Uh-huh.
But
That's fine. You're just fishing out the information.
Yeah, I guess I have to be honest. Samov probably doesn't care much about them. He's more focused on
I
what we
assume
need to do.
Samoth is downstairs still.
Yeah, he. Well, so I think that like for the meeting, he has come up for the discussion thing. But you can when someone's like kind of sitting there, kind of like, okay, is it done? Can we go? Like, just like sitting there already with his mind out the door.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with a 21-20, Kitty, you don't pick up on it so much. But yeah, if you rolled over a 15, one piece of information that you probably picked up was the other army has hired a specialist team, very similar to this one that you guys are in, being forced upon this army. Force Belore has hired specialists. You guys are being forced for this fight. But it's a very similar situation, just they're willing to be there.
All right.
Very interesting. Well, how far off do you think we are from the farm?
We will arrive first thing in the morning. So if you look at the map, there's actually a couple of points of interest that your cartographer would have pointed out, and we'll retcon the cartographer being here the whole time, I think. That just makes sense, so that way you guys don't lose the ability to use the cartographer stuff.
Okay.
Is that alright?
Yeah.
So yeah. So a couple points of interest is through hearsay and picking up information while you travel. Whenever you pass a group of travelers, you ask Rock the Dwayne Johnson to slow down a bit so you can chit chat, and you put together this map. There's one main central location that the farmers all kind of feed into, and that's Roddenberry Hall. There's a couple of small farming villages on the outskirts of this river, which is Golden Glow? I don't remember what I have it as. Gold Row. Okay. Yeah, Gold Row River. There's a lot of mining back in the day, panning for gold, but not important at all now. But the farmland is rich and fertile. So on either side of the river, you'll find different crops being produced. And at the end of the day, people will go to Roddenberry Hall to sell their wares, make trade, get a nice drink, have a little slice of civilization. There's a guard tower of some of the old guard that's there. It hasn't been functioning in years because we're so far away from the capital, but it's still there. There are mountains up to the left, there's a chasm down to the right, and a river runs through it. So, where do you guys want to go?
Well, it does seem like the smart thing to do would be to head to the main area there, Roddenberry Hall.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So yeah, by the next morning at sunup, you can see the town in the distance. You're crossing over the bridge to the river. Actually, you're not crossing over the bridge. You're just wading through the river. Rock the Dwayne Johnson can do that, so might as well. It's a little bit slower than traveling on land, but you're not going to break the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And you arrive on the other side, a little soggy, but no worse for wear. You march yourselves past the watchtower, which is empty and hollow. There's no one in it. And you see Roddenberry Hall is a small collection of buildings off in the distance. Do you want to drive Rock the Dwayne Johnson into town, or are you? What's the plan?
I think that it would be good if we parked him outside and we walked into town. I feel that would be a little bit too disrupting to have a walking house just pop in.
I, on the other hand, think the opposite. I think this is shock and awe. They need to see that we mean business.
I-
If Dr.
I-
Warthoff explains it that
Yeah.
way, then Kitty would agree with it.
Yeah, I'd very much like to see how they react to this.
It would be a good show of force. Show them that we have resources outside of their, outside of what they have.
Okay.
Beyond their reckoning.
And what was it that you said, Jade? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's like, yeah, I would very much like to see how they react to this.
Okay. So yeah, you tell Rock Dwayne Johnson just full steam ahead. Let's get to town. Hey, no problems, boss. And marches on in. As you approach, you hear the clamoring of an alarm bell. Someone's ringing it, getting the attention of the town. As you get even closer, you see that the farmers have taken their pitchforks and torches, and there's a minor barricade that was put up on the town entrance, and you see 20, 30 people there waiting for you. It looks like they're ready to go to war.
All right, perhaps we don't smash through the barricade or squish any of them.
It's just the energy we want. We just need it directed not at us.
If we stop outside the gates, it will still show the force we have, but also show that we know to restrain it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So stop outside the gates.
Yep.
Mhm.
Outside the gates, so you can plop on down.
Yeah, you stop outside the gates, and Rock the Dwayne Johnson will kind of nestle himself into the dirt. This is great. And the foundation of the building is now flush with the ground level. And if anyone were to walk upon this house, they would just think that your lawn is different from the surrounding grass. But that's about it.
I like that image.
Mm-hmm.
Take a 15 rock
What?
and like take a 15-minute
Yeah.
break.
Yeah. I got this. I can rest with the best of them.
And with that, Kitty will walk outside.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Simov will follow behind her, kind of bodyguard-esque, you know.
Yeah, I'll join.
Okay.
Yeah, and she'll
So-
kind of shamble out as well.
In the early morning mist, with this picturesque little village behind you, behind them, as you walk towards the front of this village, a couple of the farm people with pitchforks and a torch in hand start marching your way, and maybe 4 of them, not the whole bunch. The rest are holding back and waiting. But this is the party that's coming to talk to you.
Do we happen to know that we know the name of the village?
Yeah, you know this is Roddenberry Hall.
Good morning, citizens of Roddenberry Hall. And Kitty will approach with her hands up, showing that she is not threatening.
Okay. The woman who is in the lead, she seems slightly older than the rest, wielding a pitchfork, says, "What be your business here?"
Diplomacy.
Yes. Sorry. Go ahead, Dr. Vorthoff.
Close enough. Yeah. Yes. Hello. We are coming here as emissaries of
Whatever our nation is that I have forgotten, unfortunately.
That's fine. I wrote it down somewhere. But keep going.
Yes, we are coming as emissaries. Now, it looks like there is a great deal of unrest in this area, and unfortunately, we are going to need to get your help and hopefully it will be mutually beneficial.
How is it mutually beneficial for you to come in here and take our state?
So I take it that the army has sent messengers before.
Aye, they have. Took an entire day's worth of farming off with them.
Yes, well, that is going to have to be something that is taken into account in the future, unfortunately. Now, you see, if we cannot get some manner of support for our people here and logistics and whatnot, there will need to be a change in power here.
I don't know if I like what you're saying to me.
Right. As my colleague says, there is another, potentially another nation coming in, and for the benefit of this village and the benefit of the people, we are requesting for you to come and join us safely, where we can promise your safety, where we can promise that you will not be pillaged. My name is Kitty Rosewood, and I have spoken to the general of the army here, and I have secured that.
So you're telling me that you got an army of however many strong they are to agree to leaving our little farm town alone?
You would need to contribute some food to them in order to keep them from taking it in a violent manner.
Your contribution, what my colleague is trying to say, your contribution to the army will provide for the betterment. It'll provide, as I said, it'll provide protection. It'll provide you being able to continue living here in your land.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check. Because she is interested to hear what you have to say, but... Well, I'm interested, but what will you say if I said no right now?
I would like to ask you then, what could I do to change your mind?
She takes her pickaxe, 21 is a great roll. She takes her pickaxe and puts it down and waves for the three others behind to relax. Not swinging a sword is a great step. Come on in.
No.
You'll talk to us.
Yes, better for me to say, how can I help you help me help you?
I'm looking out.
Javon.
I'm looking out for the people. I've lost her accent entirely, so I'm just going to speak normal, but assume bad Scottish accent. Looking out for the people of the town. I can't have a group coming in and murdering and pillaging. We need our own supplies. We need everything we need. I don't mind selling our extra to the army. That's not a problem. But if they come in here looking for trouble, we can't survive that way.
Out of character, the general had said to convert the farm people to our side, like their side, to provide rations.
Yep.
And was he going to pay for them or not?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okie dokie. Yeah, if anyone else wants to pipe up, I feel that like Kitty has been talking a lot. If you guys want to pipe up, please do.
Well, I mean, she is kind of the face of the group, so
Yeah.
fine. But some of it just kind of in the thing of like not wanting people to come and pillage. You'd be like, yes, yes, that would be quite disagreeable to us too.
Colleagues, perhaps we could help them here and get, again, as I was saying before, a mutually beneficial outcome. Good person, good lady, good madame. What is your name? Sorry.
Samantha Bree. And
Miss Bree,
she's just one of the farmers the others look up to. They don't really have much of a society structure here.
well, I am not exactly sure about the whole commerce aspect of the arrangement here, but what if I were to tell you that we could make things easier on you and improve the efficiency of your farmland, and then you would take that extra efficiency production and give the surplus to the army free of charge?
Interesting. Okay. Um, and how do you reckon we can do that? You're saying you can come in here and improve our farming more than what we already know? Our lives, generation after generation, we've been doing this, and you're gonna fix it?
No. He's not insinuating that what you're doing is not sufficient. What he is bringing forth to the table is making it easier, making it so that you have time for other things in your life in addition to farming. We respect what you're doing here, but if we can help in this small way, you can count the Rosewood Way.
That always gets me. Okay. Samantha says, I am but one of the farmers here. I speak for them when I can, but I only speak for them as long as they'll let me. If you are going to bring something this big to them, you have to bring it to all of us. We can provide a stage for you, but if the town doesn't agree, we have to say no.
Almost like a little town hall.
Almost like a little town hall.
Or a
Roddenberry-
lecture. Or a lecture.
It's a lecture.
Professors will have to prepare the presentation.
Okay. How about tonight then?
I personally, yes, I can do it. How about you all? Madame?
I have no objections with this. Seems great.
The quicker we get this sorted out, the better.
Yes.
Fantastic.
All right. Then it's early still. The farmers and I will get to work and take a look around. If you see anything amiss, leave it alone. It's not yours.
Oh, absolutely. We will respect that to the utmost. Is it okay if we speak to your colleagues, if possible?
Yeah, they'll be out in the field.
Fantastic.
I do suggest that if you are going to go out there, bring a pitchfork or a scythe, because you're going to be getting to work.
Oh, I see.
Just like the good old days.
Are any of the fields in the active planting phase?
Active
Ye-
planting.
Yes, you said pitchforks at scythe, but are any of them needing a hose, so to speak?
Sure.
Or seeding, perhaps. A couple of my professors, you see, are getting up there in their age, and I want to overstrain them, if you understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got fields in all various states. Feel free to go where you want, or just have a seat and wait until nightfall. That's fine too. All I was saying is that if you are going out into the fields, don't expect to have a sit down and talk. These people are going to want to work.
Okay.
All right, so I have a plan, and that is I know a spell. Let me see. 1 second.
Mold earth.
Yeah. Could a little magical molding of the earth not benefit these rural farmers?
Oh, very much so.
So I say we do what we can to teach the magically inclined ones.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, you want to teach a
and
cantrip to... Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm alright with this.
And this would be proposed at the town hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. I love that.
I mean, we're professors and whatnot. We teach people.
Yeah, it's cantrips. I have no problem with that.
I would be more than willing to help them automate what processes they can.
And yes, we can take a look at their machinery and see how we can upgrade it. You are such a
Doctor, speaking of machinery and upgrading, give me your own specific special perception check.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Ew, I'm not very insightful. Or not very good at watching.
No, and that's fine because he sees you. Well, they, that's more appropriate. They see you. You are looking around for farming gear and equipment when you get a tap on the shoulder from a person wearing overalls and a straw hat.
May I help you?
And yes, you may. This Warforged too looks out of place in this gear. I'm sorry, they. I will get this. I'll get used to that eventually. They say, "Excuse me, may I take a moment of your time?"
Of course. There's what? Take as much time as you need.
This will be brief. I have a request. I know we have just met each other, but there's one thing that a fellow Warforged would understand, a Forgekin, brother in Forge. What would we call ourselves? Would understand more than others. I was wondering if it would be too soon to ask for you to perform a maintenance routine.
I would be happy to perform a maintenance routine on you, or on any other of our fellow Warforged that may need it.
It is just myself in this town.
I believe you're supposed to provide dinner first.
Yeah, get a room, you two.
Silence.
Anyway, shall we go to your location or mine?
Your location will suffice. Stop it. Like your location will suffice, and then turns to them like, "Stop it! Stop making this weird."
I am not clear on what you're talking about.
Yeah, they turn with and walk a distance away with a slight limp on their left leg. Please follow me this way. All right. So the rest of you, we'll get back to that in a second because I definitely want to play a Warforged hot and steamy repair session.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing anything with the day?
So Kitty would propose to take a walk around the property, kind of following along with Dr. Vorthos' idea as to seeing areas of improvement that we could provide and kind of strengthen our lecture or our town hall. And she might be like reciting things, and every occasional is just like, "David, did you write that down?"
Okay, excellent. Just give me one good perception check on that to see what you see for the day.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Dang. Kitty is rocking.
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah.
on fire tonight, except when you're not.
I'm sorry, I am blind.
I take offense at that.
Ooh. All right.
I've offered to help.
I
I'm
can
also
see
not
just-
there.
I get along just fine.
All right. So the Warforged is performing routine repairs. Kitty is doing some checks and clerical work. Not clerical work.
Secretarian work.
Secretarian work.
She might be like thinking of like where she could put her name somewhere, like a plaque.
There are a few barns, a couple windmills.
Okay. That gives her ideas.
Yeah.
If to convince them and to do a great job.
So what I suggest is on the windmills, you could do it right on the blades, like a banner. So when it spins, you
Yes.
get to see it.
Oh, do I need to have like at one point have my unseen servant like start knitting and make banners?
A couple of the youngsters that aren't in the fields, the one that are too young, are on the outskirts of the house on Crawling Hill, is what I'm just gonna call it. They're on that borderline. They're daring each other to step over the border and be like, you won't stand on that grass. And I think if anyone sees Rock the Dwayne Johnson is having a good time with this, anytime they put their foot over, he'll shift a little bit.
That's cute.
Yeah, nothing else really happens throughout the day. Phil, your old bones doing anything?
I was going to prepare lecture notes, and then if there was any extra time, I was going to briefly take flight and just see if I can get an aerial view of like the fields or whatever, and see if I could suss out any improvement.
Yeah. Okay. Performing the lecture is pretty easy. You have taught beginner spell classes before. Part of being a professor at the university is you have to teach kids every once in a while. So you've got those notes already stashed away. You're good. Give me a perception check with advantage for the aerial view, that bird's eye view even. Beautiful. Okay. They've got their process down very well. It's streamlined. They're using as much of the land as they can at the moment. They've been circulating the crops, so they always have something harvestable at any given time. And they're doing it all without the use of obvious magics, which is great. It's just people working the land and knowing what they're doing. Magic will probably speed things up, but the thing that comes to mind is, will this change the nature of their farming timing? Will it make it so they're harvesting too much at any given time and not enough at others? That might be something to worry about.
What I would imagine it would speed things up,
Mhm.
which would give them more time to expand into more farmland.
Right. And looking from the aerial view with the mountain on one side and the that dead land to the right, I don't know how much more expansion they can do. They seem to use the land pretty well. Now, you might make their lives easier, and that would be useful.
What about irrigation?
It's not shown on the map, but they've got a pretty good system running through. They're taking water from the river, the Gold Road River, and everything seems to be flowing well.
Gotcha.
They're not
gotcha.
struggling in any sense of the way. They are very productive. And these fields, they're not one solid field. There's a smattering of fields that stretch an entire day's worth of walking. So these people aren't in need.
All right.
With an 18 perception, you do see a grave-like structure to the west of Roddenberry Hall. It's on the other side of the river, somewhere in the farmlands. You would have to be above it in order to see it, like you do. It looks like some sort of rock spire. I don't know if that interests you any, but that's there.
It does, just because it looks out of place, and out of place things are sometimes interesting and useful for study.
Yeah. And if you have free time, maybe we can go there. Just a
Yeah.
thought.
And I would definitely share that I saw an interesting structure with the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm. Super
Okay.
neat. All right. And Madam R,
Yeah, sorry, I was eating something there. My bad.
how dare you?
Yeah, right, I'll
Food
show
shall
this
not be
out.
consumed during D&D.
I think so. I guess in like the area of the hall itself, is there any like structures like like a tavern or something where people would gather?
Oh,
Something
absolutely.
similar.
The taverns
Yeah.
are pretty
Okay.
empty at this point. Everybody's out in the fields
Is
that would be
everybody
there.
working? Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
This is a very worker-heavy location.
Yep.
Um, the people who run the tavern are there, but you're looking at the youngest children and the oldest adults that are running these places. The ones that aren't in the field anymore are making themselves useful.
Well, so you said the older people are like running the tavern or
Mhm.
there though.
The ones.
She might.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, go on.
It's the oldest ones and maybe one or two working hands that are the brewers that would be running the tavern. They take the wheat directly from the fields, the hops, and they brew them down. You have your specialist workers. But for the most part, it's the older folk and the younger folk in this part of the town at the moment.
Okay. Even though it's relatively empty, she might peek in there and see if she can't maybe do some sort of gossip exchange or get any sort of knowledge or information that might be interesting
And
off of the.
before you pop your head into the door, which is open, this place is well lit. They're cleaning themselves. It's not dingy or dark. You hear a bunch of people gossiping about the people in the fields. Who's getting married to who? What's going on with this war? Are they going to fight? Are they going to have to leave this place? And if you were to poke your head in, the second that you're seen, the whispered talking stops. And they welcome you in. They're not rude. Stranger, come on in. Have yourself a drink. Sample our wares. But they don't know you enough to talk to you.
Yeah. I think she's gonna kind of play up the like seemingly blind old woman act a bit and just be like, well, it's like just new here, getting a lay of the land a bit, and just wondering, if there's anything you could tell me about, the goings-ons here, how things have been lately.
And you get a lot of, we're but simple farmers, simple brewers, we're just living a simple life. It's us and the land and our people, and that's all we've ever wanted. They're very worried, they're very concerned about the war. They know that the war party is on the other side of their hill, just down the road. And they are ready to fight if needed. Go ahead and give me a gather information. Is gather information the one? No, investigation. I'm still stuck in 3.5.
Investigation. Okay, so do
Yeah.
that roll. Are you serious?
They're ready to
Oh,
fight.
I
if
really
need
will
be.
show myself.
But there's something there, you just can't get it. They don't want to talk to you. You're an outsider. But you are not beyond the understanding of be pleasant to the outsider, but don't tell them anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. That pretty much killed anything I had planned with that
Gotcha.
critical fail. So
But one good thing is no one tried to swindle you.
yeah.
So there's that. These people are pretty honest, and even though you're a blind old lady, they're not trying to be like, oh, you dropped your 5 coin piece. And you reach to your purse. Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Oh yeah, and also to be clear, since it was part of the starting equipment, she does have a dagger on her hip too, in case it comes to that. But in addition to the quarterstaff. But
yeah. No one here
just to
seems
be clear,
putting up a fight.
yeah.
All right. So, end of the day, everybody gathers. The workers are very tired. Oh, no, we have important thing to do first. And then the Warforges. So you get back to the this Warforged farmer core. Anyway, you get back to his domicile, and it's a very sparse farm shack. There's not much in the way of decoration. There's nothing for like food. There's a couple of chairs and a bed and a workbench, and the makeshift tools are an embarrassment to Warforged kind. Like, you could not clean a gear with anything that he has here. They have here.
Do you even have any good lube? I had to go into that and go into your guys' thing.
Unfortunately, nobody else is there to comment.
Yeah, you all have to stay silent about that.
Yeah.
They reach into a cupboard and pull out a jar of what look to be vegetable-based cooking oils. This is what I have been working with. I love these farm people. They are wonderful, but they do not understand a proper maintenance routine.
That is correct. Very few people do. Sit down. I will use for my own supply for today.
Ooh, the good stuff.
So I'd have him sit down and start taking a look at his. I'm assuming it's his leg. That's the thing that's giving him problems.
The leg is the primary importance, but if you could do a full once-over, that would be a good thing.
Okay.
I have not had a maintenance routine in many generations.
I can see that from a cursory glance, and I will perform the maintenance routine as requested.
Oh man.
And yeah.
So this Warforge is a chatty Cathy. He will go on about how long it's been since they've been maintained, how much fun it is to be digging in the earth and to watch things grow, and to watch the life cycle of the organics over and over and over again at their demands. The Warforge is mainly wood, with some metal bits mixed in. It's not an uncommon practice of using live material like wood, but this isn't how you would have built a Warforge.
Yeah, and kind of hearing him talk about this stuff was like, honestly, they should be more grateful for what you do.
I am grateful for the opportunities they have given. It has been a long time since I've left my home and come out here, and the change has been for the best. City life does not agree with me.
In that, I believe we differ. Or I moved away from a town such as this.
Where were you forged, friend?
I was gonna say I never came up with a name for my hometown, did I?
That's okay. We can fill it in later.
It's Mulleton Fields.
Okay.
That's what I'll say for it. I was built in Mullins Fields.
Mullins Fields is no factory I know of.
Well, this is where this may get a little awkward. But I made myself.
Yeah, they sit up in their chair a little bit more stiff. Self-produced.
Well, I was not always a Warforged.
You chose this form.
It was my only option, but is an option that I chose with pride.
Give me a... What skill would you use to repair a Warforge or do maintenance on a Warforge?
See, I'm trying to think, because the one that I would say, because I have Tinker's tools, and I believe that's based off like dexterity, which I'm not great at.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that, but it feels like the most honest answer would be like either dexterity or like some type of, if there's a lot of heavy kind of lifting and kind of pushing stuff into place, maybe athletics, but that feels a little cheaty there.
Well, it could be more of an intelligence because you know the motions that you have to take, because you know where everything needs to be, and you're not
Okay.
trying to fiddle with something small. You're just trying to navigate your way around something you know.
Okay, so
I'm just wondering if
So-
there's a skill you have that would tie to that wonderfully, specifically for Warforge.
specifically for Warforged, I mean, the only thing that I could think of is like, I don't know. This wouldn't be considered a medicine thing, would it?
Yeah, actually, for Warforge, I would consider this medicine if you wanted to.
Okay.
Go ahead and make a
So
medicine
you won't-
check with advantage.
Okay, and I'll just roll twice with this instead of.
Yeah, I'm glad I rolled twice because that sucked.
Yeah, and the second one wasn't much better there.
No, but it wasn't in that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell me about it.
I've been rolling horribly.
Okay, let's see what you do. Choose evens or odds.
Odds.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, so you talking, and I guess talking about your past and being a Warforged not by choice but by necessity, you get a little bit distracted, and you twang one of the gears in a weird way, and your Warforged friend does not respond well. Ah,
Sorry, I am more used to working on my own body, which is not designed for delicate work.
okay. Even with the discomfort, this is monumentally better than it was earlier in the day, and is able to move leg a bit.
If if you want, while I may not be dexterous, if there is another resident of this village that you think could help with such a thing, I could teach them the ins and outs of performing your maintenance.
I fear that by the time you teach them what is necessary, the generation will be gone.
That is true.
Organics, am I right?
That you are.
All right. And one thing that I do want to touch on before we leave this scene is as you fix the leg, and there's a small scratch in the wood where you missed a tool, but it's not the end of the world. You didn't sever a leg. You clean up the bits. You just do a general maintenance that you've done 1,000 times before on yourself. Everything seems cleaned out. You have removed maybe 2 pounds of muck and grass residue from the inside of this person. One piece of gizmo seems to stand out, and it resides in the temple area. And it doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't seem to be connected to anything. And it's made of a rare metal. It's more gold than wood or iron or steel. And it looks out of place inside this Warforge.
So it's not something that would be visible from the outside?
No. You might get a peek, a little glimpse of a gold cog. But if you pull back the panel and start messing around, you see the flashes, and you're like, oh, this is definitely out of place.
Okay. Is there anything about, kind of my history working with my own Warforged body that I would know what the function of this would be?
Yeah, give me a history check with advantage.
Okay.
Don't roll a 1.
Okay. Did I even roll?
It
That did
didn't show
not
up on
roll.
mine.
Okay, let's see what I.
Oh, that's already
Oh,
better.
did. Okay, yeah. So that was the, because I rolled 2, but it. Oh wait, with advantage.
Yeah.
So it was actually a 16. I rolled 2 d20s. One was a 2. One was a plus. Oh, one was a 16.
I see.
So it's a 16.
Plus your...
Oh, plus my proficiency stuff, or what would it be for plus? Because you were saying a straight. You just said a straight roll.
Sorry, a history check.
Oh, a history check. Oh, that's a +4.
Okay,
So
so
that'd
20,
be
a
a
dirty
20.
20.
Yep.
You've never seen anything like this. The gold gears seem to be interwoven with some sort of a weird silver. It's completely out of place, and once again, it's not functioning. What it would do, completely beyond you.
Have you been, other than the more physical problems, have you had any changes in your personality?
No, beyond my physical inabilities, I have been working adequately. Everything has been fine.
With my horrible rolls before, I don't think he would trust me to poke around inside his head. So,
They are trusting you pretty much implicitly right now. I mean, you have a wire brush in their brain, and they're loving that you're scrubbing it out. So if you want to try your hand at messing with it, I'm not going to stop you.
oh god, this is.
Do it.
Yeah, and he would. He's seeing a part that's not working. That must be a part that is necessary. So yeah, I will try to get it working.
Okay. Okay. Give me one of those medicine checks again, but not with advantage because you've never seen this piece before.
Okay.
Woo.
Yeah, you
Not a
fiddle around. What?
It's another one.
Not a one. You fiddle around with this piece, and it's loose, and it's its own like little module. And you knock it around a little bit, and you try to get the gears moving, and you can easily, with a pair of tweezers, remove it. You haven't gotten it working, but you can take it out of the brain.
Okay. I will remove it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole mechanism fits in the palm of your hand. It's a fairly, I guess, small module, and this Warforged looks up and says, "A relic of my previous life."
What did you used to do before?
Material acquisition for forging and foundry.
You said this was a part of your past life. What did it do?
This allowed me to talk to those in my home. Would you
Oh.
like it? I have nothing more to offer as payment for these services. Would you like that?
Well, I do not require payment. If you would be willing to allow me to have this, I would be grateful.
With a panel still like open on their head, they will reach out a hand and close your hand around this device. Then, as a thank you for the services rendered today.
Thank you, but first let me close it up. That would be horrible if it started raining while you were out in the fields and that was still open.
Wonderful.
So, I guess I said about closing him back up and trying to get him as watertight as an old Warforged can be.
Yeah, very happy with the results of everything. Fit as a fiddle, factory new. You put a little air freshener on their ear, and they're pleased, so pleased. All right. Towards the end of the day, the farmers come in. They're exhausted, but they're ready to talk and mingle. Some do go off to their own homes, but for the most part, everybody goes back to Roddenberry Hall, where they hit taverns or they hit other locations. The festivities, the relaxing, gets abruptly sidetracked as Susan Bree calls a town meeting with a giant bell. Do-do-do-do-do. Did I lose you again? I did. Guys, I'm sorry about this. My Discord keeps losing every hour or so, and I've been working on it for ages. But anyway,
So I was asking if the professors would meet back at the Rock before going to the town hall meeting. Hello?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, the only reason I ask is because I want to give a motivational speech.
oh,
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So I would come back. I guess leaving my Warforged friend to go and do stuff. So yeah, I'd meet up with you.
Okay.
Julius comes stumbling in with a pitcher of mead or barley mead, something from the pubs in the glass. You guys have really got to try this stuff.
I don't think we're really the hard drinking sort of crowd here. Although I do believe I've seen Kitty here indulge in some champagne once in a while.
I was going to say, speak for yourself, darling. Julius, be a dear, please fetch me one. There's nothing better than liquid encouragement.
Puts the tankard down on the table, finger guns. I'll be right back.
Oh my, okay.
You're still below her standards.
Shoot, I'm debating if I want to do inspiring leader or motivational speech. Well, let me see which one would be best.
Wait, you have those?
Yeah.
I thought you got rid of them.
No, I have Wait, which one's inspiring leader? Where does that one come from?
Inspiring leader is the feat, isn't it?
Is it a feat? Oh, no, yeah, you're right. I did get rid of that. Eventually, I do want to get that feat.
Okay.
Motivational speech is then what I'll do. Okay. And yeah, she'll wait until she has a cup of the liqueur, and she will give a motivational speech.
Motivational speech.
Did it not do it?
It did. I've just got to read what it says. Advantage on wisdom saving throws. Cool. Alright.
I know that it would be better suited for like combat, but I feel as a character she would do this.
You never know what this is. Okay, yeah. You give your motivational speech, and is there anything you want to cover? Any talking points?
Yes. So I will say, thank you all for coming on this journey with me. It's a great journey for me, honestly. And as we address the Roddenberry Hall residents, I want us to keep in mind to put ourselves in their shoes. And honestly, we need to try our best to convince them that being non-lethal is the best way. So I'm counting on all of you to do just that. And to this, cheers, and to a happy town hall.
To Happy Town Hall.
Here.
And she will drink the alcohol.
Julius hasn't come back yet, Julian.
Okay, never mind.
He's lost somewhere in town at the moment.
Okay. Oh, I thought I was thinking then that. Oh dear. That's gonna come back to haunt me. Right in the middle of the town hall. Kitty! Alright. So yeah, everyone has advantage on saving wisdom throws, I believe. And yeah, I'm good to go to town hall.
Alright.
And of course, like I said, I would have told them that I saw an interesting structure. Maybe we ought to check that out before we leave for good.
Sounds good.
I also discovered something, though I guess this is more just of interest to me. I hauled out the like golden gear like mechanism.
Gonna take out my magnifying glass and give it a good look.
And did you already do like an Arcana check on it?
I did not.
Okay.
I just made a kind of a history check, right?
Yep.
Is it okay if I do an Arcana check to see if I can elucidate any more information?
If you're asking me, yeah.
Okie dokie. I see.
Yeah, I think I definitely would as well.
Okay. Yeah, definitely magic, but once again, the gears aren't spinning. But with 5, I'm not going to tell you much more than that. Oh, 5. Yeah, okay. If you didn't know better, this would be some sort of magical device that focuses divination magic.
Neat. And of course, I would share all of my findings with my colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
And
Is it? Oh, sorry.
It
Go on.
looks more like a watch mechanism than it does a Warforged mechanism, but it's beautiful.
As far as you can tell, is it for wherever it's installed in to watch something else, or for something to watch what it's installed in?
With a 29, it looks like it can work both ways.
Oh yes, it looks like it goes back and forth, bi-directional.
You can see him eyeing it, being like, "Should I stick this in my head?"
As the DM, I will restate the fact that it is currently not functioning. So
Oh,
it will be
okay,
repaired
you're right.
first.
You're right. Mm. Okay.
You can stick it in your head, but it would just be a hunk of metal that's in your head.
Yeah. Okay. I will put it away for now.
All right, to the town hall.
Okay. The town hall is just all the farmers getting out of the bar and talking to each other in the middle of the center of buildings. There's a small makeshift platform that is essentially just the well with a couple of boards put on top of it, and Susie Bree is standing on top of that, and she's talking to the crowd about the new strangers that are here and how they're willing to make an offer for our safety, and they're willing to talk to the war party that's on the other side and make a peaceful statement where we supply them food at a reasonable cost and they will provide us safety and to not bother us in this war. And some people are okay with it. You see a couple of heads that are nodding, but some of the elders are not happy with the idea. But to speak the peace better than I can, and Kitty, you're getting called up.
Okay. And Kitty, very like she was expecting to be called up, she gives a nod to Miss Bree, and she'll say, "Thank you, Miss Bree. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Miss Bree, for that lovely introduction." So yes, as she has stated, my name is Kitty Rosewood, and I am from the Academy of SAA, and we are here to make your lives a little bit better. And with the war that is currently going on, I believe that there is a possibility of a mutual exchange between the army and the farm. And the army would be able to provide security, it would be able to provide protection, and your farmlands would go undisturbed. It would be beneficial if this farm provided supplements to the army, and Dr. Vorthos here, has suggested a wonderful idea. Doctor?
And like being called up to the lectern in a classroom, he gets up and he explains the processes behind the arcane manipulation of soil, and he's using like prestidigitation to do like notes and stuff on a nearby wall,
Uh-huh.
like working a projector.
Okay.
And it's just a very dry sort of presentation, since he is not he's not super socially conscious.
Uh-huh. Professor, question.
Yes, sir.
You're telling me. Now, I don't have the fancy book smarts that you got, so it took me a bit to understand this. But if I'm getting these symbols right, you're saying I don't need to shovel the dirt no more?
That is correct. You would be able to move them with etheric currents.
And there's murmuring in the crowd as they look towards their shovels that they still have in hand.
And Kitty will whisper to Dr. Vorthy, can you tell him about unseen servant? If not, I can explain it.
You're welcome to try, but I feel that may be a bit beyond these good people.
Okay.
Are you going to try?
I feel that she would. It might go over their heads, but yeah. So she would clear her throat. In addition to the lovely lecture that Dr. Vorthos gave.
The murmuring stops and they have your attention, or you have their attention.
So, I have another magical item or a magical spell that could be used for those folks that are more inclined to the magic. And David, come here. And you'll hear the little tinkling of a bell, and she will point to where she last heard the little bell tinkle, and she'll say, "So I have an unseen servant here. Now it is a wonderful little servant that does not talk back, does not complain about work, and it just does as you command it to be. Imagine having your own little servant to do all of your biddings in the hard work, giving you more time to relax and enjoy time with your friends and family, because that's what it's all about."
Hearing unseen, or a little servant that does your bidding, you'll hear in the back, "We call them children."
No, not quite the same. Perhaps in addition to. She's trying to go with the flow.
But they're interested. They'll bite.
Okay. And she will try to do. No, she doesn't actually have the knowledge of how. I don't know, DM. She's not a professor, so I don't know if she does. Yeah.
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
And I think I would definitely help her with that, since I also know Unseen Servant.
Then make it with advantage.
Awesome. Okay.
As Vorthos is wording the exact science on the side.
See.
Okay, 13.
Yeah. You have a general idea of how it works.
Oh, and so I will explain that concept to them.
You don't know the alignment of the proper arcane energies, and you don't know why the balance is important, but you can cast a spell and you know why it works.
That is currently very true when it comes to biochemistry.
Yeah, you're good. So, you explain it in crude layman terms, which they appreciate because that's what you got. And there's murmuring, and they're all about it. Show us.
Okay. And so I will call David, and somebody from the audience suggests a a command you would like them to see? Something that will be helpful for the farm.
Haul in our wheat.
Okay. David, go haul in the wheat. Thank you.
And how much can David lift at a time? Is it 5 pounds?
I believe so.
Okay. So it'll take a bit longer than them carrying their 20 pounds at a time, but you see from a nearby cart 5 pounds worth of wheat, a nice handful, get picked up and brought over to the part of town that they've just been dropping their stores, and it gets dropped off, and it just continues. And without anyone lifting a finger, the wheat is moving, and the murmuring and the talking is happening.
And as you see, the little servant, there he goes. He's a wonderful little pet to have. And I believe this city, or this town, could definitely benefit from the services of this.
Susan will step up again and say, well, you've heard what they had to say. They'll teach us magic, they'll offer us protection from the armies, and all we have to do is supply these this local tribe, these people from the outside. Like we always do.
Liberation Force.
Liberation Force. So, like we do, this is a democracy. We get to vote on shite. So, all in favor, raise hands now. And give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Kitty or everyone?
Whoever wants to do it.
I vote Kitty.
Yeah.
All right.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
You see 2 or 3 of the older, most stubborn people who keep their hands down. And the reason why you know it's only 2 or 3 of them is because you see a majority of the hands shoot up.
Okay.
And then those opposed, one person raises a hand, the other ones are too grumpy to actually admit that they oppose. Well, so be it. As long as they can keep their part of the bargain, we're on board.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
All right. And everybody
work,
seems to be
Kitty.
in great spirits. You guys will get a whole bunch of people coming by to ask about these unseen servants and moving earth. And what else can you do? Can you make water? Can you make fire? I've seen fire. That's a thing. But yeah, they're very interested in all this jazz. There's a clash and a commotion over by where the pub is, and Julian is trying to get into a very closed business because everybody's out here.
Oh no.
And he's knocking on the door. I need another pint! I know you're in there!
Oh no. Okay.
Give it up, man.
Sorry, what was that, Simone?
I just said, give it up, man.
Oh
He
no.
turns out, I need to get... No! Kitty wants a pint!
Oh, Julia.
I'll be damned. Hold on, Kitty. I have to get Kitty a pint. Yeah. So the day is pretty much yours. The night is very relaxed. The farmers will spend the next day and a half with you guys, if you would mind, going over the basics of arcane theory, prestidigitation, mold earth, unseen servant, and any other cantrips you could think of.
Yeah,
Of the
absolutely.
30 people that are in the town, let's see how many. Whew. About a third of them have the knack for picking up magic,
Fantastic.
and they'll each learn one of the cantrips. You might find one person that can learn 2, but for the most part, they're so unused to learning magic that one cantrip is enough for them to be exhausted after a day.
Sounds good. So yeah,
And-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And during all this, I would inquire about the unusual structure.
Oh, that structure. Who are you asking?
You know, pretty much the first person I talk to, and then if they can't give me as much information as I like, just whomever else comes along. I'm not being discreet about it at
yeah.
all.
Are you a religious man?
Not so particularly, but I have a great deal of knowledge on the subject.
Sacrifices to the gods and goddesses go there. We leave them for great harvest, and it's been working so far.
I have a question. Am I in the area?
I don't see why not. You're milling about in the middle of Roddenberry Hall. It's just a circle of buildings, and
Okay.
you can be if you want to be.
Okay, because I was gonna say if I was around there, providing assistance, like I don't know. I don't know cantrips and stuff, so I can't really do much. But I can help them out. But if I heard what they said, anyone around me could probably visibly see me like kind of clenching my fists and maybe hear kind of some of the gears and stuff going just a little bit faster.
You know what really grinds his gears?
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of people making sacrifices to the gods.
Oh yeah, particularly holy place it is.
I see. Calm down, Simov.
I am calm.
Are you sure? You seem to be a little stressed. I mean, you seem to be a little stressed.
Is there a place with rocks or something that people will not miss if they are destroyed?
That place we would. That's we have a ceremony there every season.
Elsewhere.
Oh, elsewhere. Yeah, you can pile up rocks anywhere you want and knock them down.
And so, with that, he storms off to go and smash some stuff with his warhammer just to get it out of the system. Because he realizes that doing anything to that place would jeopardize their mission. So he's...
Okay.
And just being sort of intrigued, I would sort of cross-reference what I hear about them and their rituals with what I know throughout history.
Okay.
And with religion.
Give me a
and
religion
whatnot.
check.
And I feel that Kitty would apologize for Simov storming off. She'll say, I believe he just needed to blow off some steam. You know the Warforged type. And, Madame Reche, will you be joining us in teaching the cantrips?
So out of character, I don't know any of that. Well, I know prestidigitation, actually. That's not true. I know
Yeah,
prestidigitation.
that one could be
Oh.
good.
And as to the shrine, it's a shrine to Chatia, who is a harvest goddess. Pretty big one.
And does just curious, does this harvest goddess take human sacrifices or just like
No,
livestock?
no. Just sacrifices from the field. You have to tithe a certain amount.
Gotcha.
And the idea is what you place on the altar, whatever portion you put in, is returned threefold to you because of your respect for the world and nature and the harvest to be.
I see. Well, that would not be something that would necessitate a change in plans,
Sorry, I'll have to be right back again.
or at least not that I think.
Boy, that would be a weird harvest goddess. I put a kid on the altar and I get triplets in the next year. No,
I mean,
thank you.
I mean, isn't that like children of the corn?
I mean, literally at that point.
Yeah.
Good times.
Fantastic. So now that we have the farm on our side, we can go back and report to the general that we were successful.
Well, we don't need to go back and
Oh.
report.
Oh, you're right. I can just call him. All right. Did you guys want to do anything else in the town?
I'm good.
Okay.
And I'm nowhere near you guys right now, so
Okay.
I can't respond.
Fair. Okay.
So yeah,
So-
I don't think there's anything like outstandingly interesting and magical that I would need to examine.
I would tell Julian to grab, to purchase like any provisions that the town might have, like food,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps not to cause a scene this time.
Yeah, it would be the next day, but yeah.
And she and Kitty, outside of the house, like maybe like walking the perimeter, she would take out her sending stone and give a call.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading on the thing. She has to make a DC 15, I believe. So if you click on Secretarian, underneath Sending Stone, I must succeed on a DC 15 intelligence check to establish contact.
Yes. So go ahead and do that.
Okay. I'm back again.
And I think you'll get 2 because it has been 2 days. So if you do fail 1, you'll get 1 more extra. So do it at
Well,
advantage.
It says once the stone is successfully used, it
Oh.
can't be used until the next time.
Oh, okay. So if you have unlimited time and the ability to use it once, then I'll
Yeah.
let you use it freely.
Okay, perfect.
But if
Awesome.
there's ever a scenario where it's dire that you get a phone call out, we'll have to do an Arcana check.
Okay, sounds good. So that being the case, she will call General Doot-to-do.
Yeah, and as per his name, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and he picks up the greeting card and holds it up, and you hear a raucous fight going on. There's screaming, and you hear people getting mowed down. Move, you fools! Get in the fray! You! It's not a good time.
General, I have wonderful news. We were able to convert the farm to you, like, in our favor. They have agreed to provide provisions free of charge to aid the army.
Oh, this is great news.
Well, you just have to promise to not invade their land or be violent with them, and as long as we keep this up, it'll be fantastic.
All right. I'll put a small provision of soldiers there to make sure no one bothers them. How's that?
Wait. I apologize. I meant a reasonable rate. I feel that David would hold up a little note saying it was at a reasonable rate, not free. Because I think that's what Bree said, right?
Pay them a reasonable rate in their gold?
Sorry, what was that again?
Pay them in their gold, their money? Or can it be ours?
I believe they would appreciate their gold.
And you hear him yell off in the distance, "Boys! Do you have that store from this village?" "Yeah, we can get them their gold."
Fantastic. And yeah, just make sure that you just keep an amiable, mutual relationship, and this will be beneficial for both of you.
Yeah. We're going to send some troops there to watch over the farm, make sure no one bothers it. They'll provide guard work and make sure none of our men go amok.
Sounds good.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, General.
Yep.
I guess, do you have any further orders?
Keep up the good work. I mean, that was fantastic. I didn't think we'd get to town. We were going there next. Let's see. This really isn't a great time, and you hear a sword fight going on the other end. Can we talk about this maybe later?
Yes, that'll be great. We can schedule a phone conference. How about tomorrow at 10?
Tomorrow, 10. And with a struggle as he buries an axe in someone, I'll jot it down.
Fantastic. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Ciao.
And he hangs up. Wow,
Alright.
very productive. In fact, let's go back to the big map because you guys did progress. And I want to show it
Yay.
off.
Yay.
And I will share the information with everyone.
Yeah. Which by this point you probably after you finish your call, you see Simov kind of coming back, still clutching his warhammer. There's bits of dust and stuff on him from all the rocks he's been crushing. He's like, if anyone needs gravel, tell them it's over there.
Aw.
Wonderful. I'm sure the town people will love it.
All right. Wow, productive night. I think this is a great spot to call the session, unless anybody has anything they want to do.
Well, I mean, take control of a few more hexes, but
Yeah, just keep going a little bit.
Oh, just keep going.
extend-
No,
Yeah,
one session
no,
roughly
I'm
1
good
week.
going.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that was a great little thing. Anything you guys want to cover before we do log offs and whatnot?
Ooh. I have an idea. With
Ooh.
the gravel that Simov made, and Dr. Vorthy, do you have shapestone, or somebody has shapestone?
I don't think I actually took that one.
Okay. Or maybe is there somebody in the town that knows how to chisel, perhaps, and maybe write rosewood to make a little plaque?
I mean, I turned it into gravel. Wait, sorry. I turned it into gravel. It's not necessarily good for.
It's fine. It's
Carving.
fine. Just one letter per rock. It's fine.
Yeah, you can find somebody that does some stone shape carving. If not, you can get a teenager with a chisel and a hammer.
Perfect.
Or,
And
no,
so,
I'll be right back. You're insane. That is not a bath. That is their food. Every single time.
Oh, actually, with
Sorry.
Mold Earth actually lets you spell out words and images and patterns.
But it goes away
And-
after an hour.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
okay.
So you have to just live there now and continuously re-upping that to keep the
Well-
brand going.
Well, he did just teach some villagers to do that.
One villager's job is just every hour go re-up the advertisement.
Every hour on the hour, Rosewood.
Yeah.
And don't you forget it.
So I think that Kitty would find somebody that would chisel and maybe make a little plaque, and she'll pay for it. And she would propose to Miss Bree if it would be okay to put this placard down in the honor of providing a mutual relationship between the army that is beneficial for both.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And
Okay.
it's not masterwork, but for 2 gold, you can find somebody to chisel your name into some stone.
Fantastic. And
I have to ask, is it like Kitty Rosewater and then really tiny under it?
And company.
Of Cinemia Academy of the Arcane.
that's exactly how it is. So it'd be Kitty Rosewood, and then the academy's name smaller underneath it.
Yeah, they're
And
okay with it.
she would propose putting that by the well or some like their biggest, I guess, structure. Maybe the Rosewood Tavern. She would like float.
They'll put it by the well, and everyone will see it while they walk by.
Perfect.
That's where they chill, so that's probably a good spot. I don't think they
True.
get the same feeling as you do from seeing it, but it's there.
It's an accomplishment for Kitty.
All right.
Oh shoot! And with her little sunstone, she'll like maybe crouch by it and like take a selfie.
The first of many.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
that'll be a like character flavor for Kitty. She'd be ready to go after that.
Awesome. All right. Last thing that I can think of, Sean, shoot me your address. I need to send you something.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Let me just.
My crafting. So I've been writing this story for a bit, as I've been saying, and like
Mhm.
I've had this item burning in my hands for a long time, and I want to get it away from me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, I just moved into here last Monday,
No
so
worries.
I hadn't really thought about that. There's actually a lot of people that I realized don't have my address anymore.
And let me know when you do receive it, because we do have to do some stuff.
Okay.
Neat. Guys, what a fun night.
Successful D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was
Yay!
fun.
Any concerns? Anything that you want to touch on? One more time? Last time?
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was very fun. I realized that Professor Simov, while very strong, does not seem to be very good at the more subtle things.
Well, maybe you can find a guru to teach you how to center yourself.
That seems like it would be getting dangerously close to being spiritual. There,
I know, it'll be Rock the Dwayne Johnson. It's like you gotta center your chi.
Rock. Like most people said this, and I would have just glared at them. But you get me.
Have you tried the healing power of crystals?
Oh, I just realized I sent you the thing, and I don't know if I ever sent my actual, like, I know you know me as Sean, but
Okay.
like first and last name Sean Nash. So
Wonderful. All right. I don't want to spoil too much, but if you look at the camera here, this thing has been.
Ooh.
I've been holding on to that for a while.
Oh yeah, I saw your thing with the like the wax like seals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just learning how to make my own sealing wax.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That poor lady, she was not intending this at all.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, tangent. So I got onto. I'm looking into new waxes because I'm missing a whole bunch of colors. Like I don't have blue for some reason. And I was perusing on a website of this very fancy heirloom wax manufacturer, and she's like, "Our waxes are heirloom beeswax made by the finest bees in our local free range, blah blah blah." And it's not like modern waxes, which are just crayons and glue sticks. Ours are this with jojoba oil, and I didn't take any of that away. I was like, wait. Modern waxes are just crayons and glue sticks? I got crayons and glue sticks. So I kind of winged it and made a recipe with some crayons and glue sticks, and now I've got all my missing colors.
Oh, wow.
Love that. And I love that her bees are free range.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. The whole website was so pretentious. I loved it. I wanted all the waxes. They looked really cool. But my takeaway was, why do that when I can make my own?
Yeah.
Get the Granny Smith apple colored wax and the macaroni and cheese colored wax and all
Yep.
the other Crayola colors.
That's exactly right. I've mixed blue, violet, and violet blue to get violet, blue, blue, violet.
Oh man,
That's a
the
prestigious
color
color. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
No, I was very so today I went to go to like with my girlfriend's family. They were looking at like there was like estate sales and stuff where there was like a 60% off on a lot of stuff today. So it was like going through, nothing really of interest, but right next to the place was a tabletop game and hobby store.
Ooh.
Yes.
And so I was like, ooh, like I need, like, I obviously right now I'm with people, so I can't go in and look at it, but so I looked it up online because they had like their thing to their website. I am actually very disappointed because I was like, of course, the little goblin in me is like, look at the clicky clacky dice.
Mhm.
And they only had one set of like D&D dice.
Hmm.
And it was sold out.
Then what were the rest?
Yeah,
The rest were what was I gonna say? It was for some other game. Let me check.
And was this in person or online?
This was online, so maybe they have something different in
Like,
Surfer. They were Fate core dice.
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know what they are except for the fact that it looks like they have plus, minus, and blank.
Yeah, so the fate system runs on d6s. 2 of them are plus, 2 of them are minus, and 2 of them are blank. And you roll a certain number of dice according to how good you are at a skill. And you're trying to get +1, +2, +3, and that's a really big roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of different types of Fate dice, but only one set of, it says Pathfinder RPG Agents of Edgewatch, and those are sold out.
Interesting.
I was disappointed. I mean, I understand there's different tabletop stuff, but I was like, oh. I also understand that I literally have more dice than I need, but there's a part of me that wants more. Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
such
I
thing
found-
as too much dice.
this is very true. I own like 8 or 10 sets of different dice, and each set of dice is like for a certain character. But yeah, no, today's session was fantastic. I had a whole bunch of fun playing my character.
Good. What do the kitty dice look like?
So Kitty is of royal lineage, so I'm actually using the blue and gold dice that you gave me.
Nice.
Lovely.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I was just going to because I was thinking of the stuff with like never have enough of dice. From
yeah.
Laura Bailey from Critical Role has like that's one of her bags of dice. I believe she has more. It's kind of funny because her husband, who's also in the show, has like a tiny one. You know, like one that has like one of each. Yeah.
Hi, Amanda.
Laura says hi.
Hi.
She says hi back. We're winding down.
Okay.
So I had a question about
It's all good. You got time. I just took my meds.
the future sessions. I know that, so we have the opposite team on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that sometimes we'll do something that affects them, sometimes they will do things that affect us.
Yes.
As of right now, we're just in the establishment phase.
Correct. So
Okay.
I'm trying to get a feel of what your teams are going to want to do. So if you guys, let's say, wanted to be more evil, I would put you on a path to contact maybe assassins. And for the right price, you might be able to hire an assassin to go attack the other team.
Okay.
As again, very neutral, very pragmatic people. Assassins are not out out of the realm of possibility, as far as I'm concerned.
And another point is they haven't had a chance to do much either, so they don't have a reputation that would have gotten to you yet. So I'm talking to you meta, completely out of what your characters would know. You just know there's another country encroaching. You don't know about this other team that's going about and doing their things. So as the game goes on, news of the other team will reach you and just be like, wow, I heard a rumor that the other country sent in people and they're riding on dinosaurs? Question mark? Or I sent in these people and they're riding on a robotic spider and one of them has a cowboy hat and a Western accent. And this might not be true in the future, I'm just saying the rumors will spread from one side of the country to the other.
Like it. But we did hear, or we did roll and find out that there is another group.
Yeah, there is a team of specialists out there who are called in and they deal with war.
I feel that Kitty, like, establishing her name everywhere is going to, like, bite her in the butt, but it's her, like, story arc.
Yeah, maybe.
I find it very interesting because, you know, Kitty, she wants this fame all over the place. Whereas my character also wants fame, but just selective fame, I guess, for certain things.
And that's okay, because I actually have a thing for your character as well, for writing up spells. Like, Amanda and I and Crystal did not an escape room, but an experience. And in that experience, they had a spell sheet where you're doing spells in a circle, and I loved it so much I'm stealing it.
Ooh.
So you got stuff in the future. Everybody's got stuff in the future. I'm so
Looking forward
excited.
to it.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Now, meta, since I know we don't know this, but I'm not sure if we are supposed to know, or if we're supposed to not talk about the other team's disposition that Amanda may have been talking about before.
No, she's fine.
Okay,
She
so I
secluded
find
herself in the other room. She's listening to noise-canceling headphones, and she's stitching.
Oh no, I mean something that she has said about her team.
Oh, what's that? I've completely
well,
forgotten.
I'll just say, I find it very interesting that you have painted the opposing army as these nice, good people, and then they are supposed to be an evil team.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted... This is meta. This is totally out of character, and I don't want you to think about it too much. But I want your armies to represent the opposite of who you are. I want you to be in the team of savage barbarians who are all for getting into a fight, and you guys are there because you have to be.
I love it.
Yeah, that is pretty great.
Yeah, so...
Also,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely fine. It's so good. Just the story writes itself.
What is this? What is this gift that you put in?
I saw it earlier, and because I remembered that like both you and Jade kind of had characters that were kind of about like learning, gathering knowledge and stuff, and so it felt like a good gift.
Yeah, that's why I love things.
Oh my gosh.
You are what you eat. And I want to be smart.
And I'm paper.
It's Rock. Suck it, Rock. The Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
Oh, God. I might make you guys fight a paper elemental.
Yeah.
I see a paper elemental guarding a library or something like that.
Yeah, and Rock is going to be terrified. He's like, fuck it, I'm not getting anywhere near that thing.
Dang, if only we had Rogar, that would solve
my
that
God.
problem instantly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I do like that like earth elementals being afraid of paper in the same way that elephants would be afraid of mice in that regard. Like,
Oh, that's great.
I also love the
Jamie. Sorry, go ahead with your.
I love
finish
the
your thought,
idea
and then-
of a bunch of kids that hear this while you guys are out of town and decide to get all the loose leaf parchment in the town and circle your home in it.
yeah.
You just hear Rock the Dwayne Johnson screaming for help.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was going to point out, I was reading a little bit more on the Secretariat, and I realized that the business cards and brochures, she's not supposed to actually use them until rank 2. Oops.
You can use them, they just don't have the magical effects until rank 2.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, except for the business card that the general has.
And that's because specifically he is counting as your HQ as your point of contact for this war.
Perfect. Okay.
So it's a special one for him.
And then, so we'll get all of our orders from him.
You will, you will get orders from him directly, and you will feed your information to him directly. He will coordinate the war effort through your actions. So, like, he's not going to send people to go attack the town because you did it. And he will point out points of interest to you. It's like, hey, I don't need you up there anymore. I need you over here ASAP. And you'll get that type of stuff.
Okay. Sounds good.
Very fun.
Mm-hmm. Also on the map, because you guys have taken that hex, I have illuminated the other points of interest that are adjacent. There's a forest to the north.
Can't take the praise.
And I'm back. What'd you guys say?
We were saying that you couldn't take the praise, so you logged off.
Yep. Get him out of here. Forget it.
Yeah.
What praise?
And I did want to ask, with this campaign, how will you be doing leveling?
I think after next... I want to give you guys a level every other night. I want you to level up pretty quick. And that's going to also expedite the ranks. So you guys, not this session, but next session, will level up.
Neat.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna boost you to rank 2 pretty quickly. I just want to make sure it's not on the first night. That way we have a little bit of character understanding. We're gonna work through some stuff. I know you guys aren't focused specifically on combat per se, but we're still gonna have some because this is the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Honestly, my character's kit is probably more leaning towards combat anyway. I don't have a whole lot of utility actually now that I look at my spell list. So.
And that's what
Yeah,
makes
I
you
was
a
gonna say-
well-rounded team.
Yeah, I have a pretty good combat stuff. Like the stuff that I can use out of combat is like it's still technically combat stuff. Like if the stuff would have gone bad at the gate, I had like command to like basically just intimidate the people and be like drop, like have them drop their weapons or something like that. Just
Yeah, so I've got what do I have for utility? I got Prestidigitation. I guess my patron thing comes with it gives me augury for free. So I got that. I have invisibility. Obviously, is useful.
And I'm a wizard, so I have access to a lot of utility and a lot of shootiness.
Yeah.
So I kind of went with like roguey type stuff, like invisibility, but also like charismatic stuff. So like suggestion, because I definitely want to really commit to like being the face and being like the person that like persuades people
Mm-hmm.
to do things.
Yeah, I think this is all going to work out really well. Man, I wish you could see my map. It's got all these locations glittering across. It's just... I hate holding on to secrets, but I love holding on to secrets.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the reason that I don't think, as much as I'd like to, and she's not. She would take a little bit to get into D&D. I don't think I could bring my girlfriend Becca in as just a normal player into our D&D, into the other, like the D&D camp I'm running with, like you guys, like Jade, Laura, Lori, Ray, Phil, and Ron. I don't think I could bring Becca in because I probably told her like everything because I need someone to tell my secrets to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's actually the only reason why I'm poly, is so I can play a game with Amanda and tell somebody else my secrets.
Yeah.
I like it.
Alright. Guys, it is midnight. Tomorrow's a work day. This
Okay.
has been so much fun, but I'm going to go pass out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Good night.
And we will do this in 2 weeks. Keep an eye on the message boards. We'll hammer out a time. Did the time work for everyone?
Yeah, this works fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
we're
is
great.
beautiful.
So Sunday at 8 Eastern, we'll do it again in 2 Sundays.
Okay.
Sounds fantastic.
Alrighty.
All right.
Good night.
With that,
Good
good
night.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Are you, Sean? Are you getting